Everybody, let's give Ariel a hand. I really can't say, I really have to tell you, Ariel, that is um, just like the most appropriate song for this time of 2020. It really, really is. It really hits home with so much going on, so much hate, so much anger. Um, I don't know. The world truly misses John Lennon. We really do.
And Eva Cassidy.
Oh, yeah,
I'm just
absolutely.
saying.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, I knew you would say that, but I'm a John Lennon fan. Can you tell?
Yeah.
Janis Joplin. I'm telling my age, but
A
I
piece
miss
of my
those
heart
guys.
now, Tanya.
Huh?
It's a piece of my heart now, Tanya.
That was great. I had to sing. Sorry, whoever kept muting me.
It was beautiful. Super grateful, Ariel. Thank you for pulling that up and making that happen. I hope that everyone was able to just feel that even though we're all separate, we're still all connected in community. And yeah, you're absolutely right, Tanya. It's the message that, if we can all hold that as we go through our days, then the world would be better. So thank you so much again, Ariel. Lovely. I'm so excited. Okay. It's the afternoon. Back from lunch. Welcome back from Zoom karaoke. And let's get this party started. We've got some amazing people speaking this afternoon. Some people who I've known for a long time, some people who have just recently had the opportunity to meet and get to know, and some people that are right in between. And I'm really excited to come as are too. First up, someone who's already been referenced a couple times because she is such a master at everything she does. Diana Konkoff Morgan, marketing strategist, public author, national speaker, is a successful serial entrepreneur with over 30 years of experience. Diana helped hundreds of entrepreneurs grow their businesses, specializing in training on how to master the art of online communication, networking, and action. She understands the challenges of building a strategic and authentic online presence that will reflect your whole heart message and bring you right clients ongoing, and has the patience and know to help you. She offers strategic consulting and virtual trainings and done with you internet marketing services. Today, Diana will talk about the 4 keys to creating a successful online presence that will bring you influence and clients ongoing. And during this talk, you're going to learn how to bring your whole heart essence to your online presence. Learn the secret to posting engaging social media content consistently with ease. That's the trick, right? Consistently with ease. Learn the latest do's and don'ts of Facebook, because thank God she keeps up with it all for us. Discover how to harness the power of the internet to have a sustainable business and life, and know how to create an internet marketing strategy to grow your brand, position yourself as the expert in your field, and reach your ideal clients. I can't welcome her fast enough for my own excitement. You guys, everyone, please welcome Diana Morgan.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's see if I can share my screen. Okay, there it is. Okay, hi everybody. Okay, everybody take a deep breath and know in advance, I'm just getting my screen all set up here. Know in advance that I am a recovering fire hoser, so it's a good thing you have the recording. I'm gonna give you a ton of information, and I'm going to hopefully give you inspiration. And I'm so excited to be here today, and I'm excited that that song was just so perfect, because it's like, imagine the world. I'm a little teary from that song. Imagine the world a place where we have that kind of love. And you know, I'm kind of skipping ahead of my slides, but I'm going to do it. My mission is to inspire people to raise the consciousness of the internet. That's my big why. And that's what I'm here today to inspire you to do. I want to teach you some things, but what I want to do is inspire you to take the next steps to really bring your whole heart to your online presence. So my big vision, I have a vision of a world of compassion and love where all people of all generations are inspired and empowered to connect and share their hearts. My mission, the mission of Whole Heart Marketing, is to empower and educate speakers, coaches, authors, holistic practitioners, thought leaders, change makers, and other entrepreneurs that are on a mission, have a message or a movement to learn how to make your social media matter. My mission is to learn how to use internet technology to share as an expert and thought leader that you are, to foster increased communication, connection, and community among all people everywhere, to bridge the intergenerational gap that's been created by technology, and to leverage the power of the internet to build a sustainable business and life. So I'm going to give you my really, really super big why, which is that this is my son. And, you know, so how I really got into this passion of growing a business on the internet was because I'm a recovering corporate misfit. And, you know, you heard me say I'm a successful entrepreneur. And in my past life as a recovering corporate misfit, I left my last corporate job when they essentially were asking me to do what was I considered to be money laundering and to sign off on it. I was assistant controller of a computer company, and I refused to do it. And the other thing that happened is that I was getting sick all the time. I was trying to fit my large, massive self into this tiny little box. And then the other thing was that my son came home from school one day and said, "I hate school." And that was the bottom line for me, you know, that I felt like, all right, well, maybe my kid's going to end up screwed up, but at least I have to know that I gave it my best shot. And that's when I quit my corporate job and decided, like, okay, it's time. And what I did was I took one of those, I call it that kick in the butt, cosmic kick in the butt seminar, where you go, I'm quitting my job in 6 months. And then I got the, you know, 30-day voluntary layoff option. So I said, yes, I'll take it. And at that time, I was, my avocation or my hobby was being a non-denominational minister. So I performed very spiritual, personalized ceremonies. I did marriage prep and relationship coaching. I have a master's degree in holistic health education and counseling. And it was really great. And so I jumped into Blessings to You, my wedding ministry. Super long story short, I built my business to very successful scale. And how I did that was in the last 10 years, I got ahead of the curve on the internet. And I learned how to use the internet to really take my business all the way. And I actually grew my business to over 100 weddings a year. I had 6 other ministers in my ministry, and I was among the top paid ministers in the Bay Area. And it was great. I got to be a stay-at-home and a working mom, and I got to do my passion. I turned my passion into a business. It was all great. And, you know, what eventually happened for me was, once again, I was like working. It was too much. I had to really take that next step to figure out how to really leverage the internet to work less and still sustain that income. And that's what I want to talk about today. So I'm passionate about you being seen, having a voice, being heard, and reaching your people with your message, your mission, or your movement, and having successful business and life, a sustainable business and life. So especially with this pandemic right now, a lot of people have been talking about the pandemic, and, you know, how a lot of us came to a screeching halt and had to really start to look at, like, okay, I can't go out and do this thing that I was doing. What can I do instead? And for me, that actually came before the pandemic, because what happened over the last 5 years, I've had 2 huge life-changing experiences, which I'm not going to get into the details of, but what I am going to say is that because I had learned how to leverage the power of the internet, I was able to sustain my business and sustain my life. And I was able to keep things going. And what that involves, it involves having a team. It involves learning how to use the internet to really leverage time. So that's a lot of what I want to talk about today. Here's what you're really going to get from today. You're going to learn the 4 steps to powerfully mastering the internet to grow your business. You're going to discover the missing link to your internet marketing success. And you're going to walk away with an internet marketing strategy to position yourself as an expert and thought leader in your field and attract your ideal clients. And you're going to really understand what it takes to have a sustainable business and life on the internet. So my hope is that you will implement what you've learned today from me. If you did nothing else besides implement what you learned today from me, your results will change. And of course, I'm going to offer you an opportunity to get more. So we'll get to that at the end. And, you know, I know a lot of people call me the Facebook queen, and that's fine. But really, I'm so much more than that. And really, that's what I want to talk about today. And the reason I want to talk about that is that there's so much more to the internet than Facebook. So I'm going to give you my 4 most important things about Facebook right here, right now. Get ready, write it down. First of all, because of what's happening in the world, which I'm not going to get specific, I think you all know. Number 1, do not friend anybody you do not know, okay? Number 2, check people out before you friend them, because even if you have 100 friends in common, you still may not know them. So don't friend anybody you don't know right now. Number 3, this is really big. Don't believe anything you read about news on Facebook. There is so much fake news right now. Really, truly, I can't tell you how deep this is for me. Do not believe anything you read on Facebook, okay? And number 4 is, before you share anything on Facebook, check it out, do the research, do your homework, because I want to discourage people from, you know, sharing fake news, perpetuating the lies. And that being said, the internet is a very powerful force for change in the world, okay? The internet is the great equalizer. I call it the great equalizer because anybody can be successful on the internet. And there are many, many different paths to being successful on the internet. Okay, so the path that I'm talking about is specifically for coaches, authors, speakers, holistic practitioners, change makers, thought leaders, women, and a few good men, entrepreneurs on a mission. Okay, so you have to really understand that there are many different ways to do the internet. And even though there's all kinds of fake news, and even though there's all kinds of, you know, the Netflix special on the social experiment, and even though all of this is happening, you can still be successful using social media and using the internet. And that's what I want to talk about today. Okay, I always have my here's the truth time. Okay, everybody take a deep breath. Here we go. This is the truth room. You don't have to volunteer your answers, but I want you to think about this. You can look like you're doing everything right and be posting and be sharing and doing everything you need and really be not getting any results. And here's the thing. Just because someone else is doing something does not mean you should do it. And what I find with so many people, this is the 14th year of my business. So this isn't my what's I call my side gig. This is my business, is that most of the people that I talk to are doing random acts of social media and they're not monetizing. They're paralyzed in fear. They're inundated with information about how to use social media, overwhelmed, confused by conflicting messages, besieged by the marketing gurus telling you what to do, and hemorrhaging money doing things that didn't work. I know that none of you are those people, but there are a lot of people out there that are having those challenges. So what I want to do is help you crack the internet marketing code today. So part one of cracking the internet marketing code is that it's personal and business equals personal business, okay? Now more than ever, it's about being personal. So it's not being too personal that you feel too vulnerable and overexposed, but it's being personal in the sense that you're being authentic, okay? And it's mostly, the internet is a 24/7 networking opportunity. So your gold in using social media is connecting and getting to know people. It's not meant to replace personal interaction. It's meant to go deeper into connecting with people. It's meant to get to know people on a deeper level. And it's not about you, it's about them. So I want you to think about your own online presence, okay? So you heard Ariel talk about this. I know a lot of you are aware of this. You know, everything is energy, okay? I'm just gonna say that, everything is energy. So the goal of the internet is to bring, you've heard me say, bring your whole heart essence to your online presence. The goal of your online presence is to bring the essence of who you are onto the internet so that people can experience you as close to possible as if they were meeting you in person. It's like there's no separation. So how do you do that? How do you transmit your energy? How do you transmit your essence? That is the second part of cracking this code, okay? Understanding that it's personal/personal business, which means everything's personal. And the second part of this is bringing your whole heart essence to your online presence. You want to stand out on the internet. You want people to remember you, okay? So it's about what you share. It's about how you share. It's about where you share and who you play with. But it's so much about the other things that you can do with social media, connecting with people, just even like in the chat, you know, connecting with people like, hi, how are you doing? Great to see you here. It's the same thing on the internet. It's the same thing with Facebook, with social media. It's about connecting and really showing that you care. So here's a staggering statistic. Okay, ready for a staggering statistic? Every minute, millions of opportunities are there for you to connect, okay? So the internet is a 24/7 networking opportunity. And every second, there are millions of opportunities to connect. And those millions of opportunities could be you having people refer you, having people connect with you. What's happening? Somebody's not muted. Okay, so, okay, I'm back. Every minute, there are opportunities for you to connect. It's a 24/7 network. It's so powerful. Whatever you put on the internet, it's out there 24/7. So I want to encourage you to think about that in the way you build relationships. Think about that in the know, like, and trust factor. Okay, so why Facebook? Why do I focus on Facebook even though I'm more than the Facebook queen? Well, because it's 2+ billion daily active users. 42% of Americans say Facebook is their #1 influencer of purchases. 31% of websites are driven by social networks, 25% on Facebook alone. Users spend 50 minutes a day on Facebook, Instagram, and Messenger. And if you're that person who spends like you don't, then someone else is spending 150. Okay, so think about that in terms of the power of it. And my strategy, the strategy that I'm telling you about, liking, commenting, sharing, connecting, it's really applicable to every single social media platform. A lot of people think like, oh, well, LinkedIn is business and Facebook is social. No, it's all the same. It's for this particular strategy. I always have to add that. It's this strategy, okay? Many, many different strategies. But for this strategy, everything you're posting on Facebook, you could be posting on LinkedIn. The way you connect with people on Facebook, you can connect with people on LinkedIn. And let me tell you something. I'm going to get on my little pet peeve soapbox for a minute. Just because it's just business on LinkedIn, which it isn't, does not mean that you can just do that drive-by promoting thing with the LinkedIn messages. Okay, how many people just get so annoyed? You connect with someone on LinkedIn, and 30 seconds later, they're plastering their ad into your message. You know, so don't do that. Okay, there's don't. And we don't do that on Facebook. I don't recommend it. And I don't recommend it on LinkedIn either. It doesn't matter if it is more businessy. I mean, I probably wouldn't share pictures of my little kitty or my things like that on LinkedIn, but ultimately it's really the same in terms of the opportunities to connect. Actually, there's even way more opportunities, but I'm not going to go there today. Okay, so the bottom line is there are new social media platforms launching every day. So it's really important for you to understand that you have to really use all of them, but don't use them as your database. You can't use them to you have to have a whole internet marketing system, okay? You have to have all the pieces. So I want to just do a brief review of my social media success formula. A lot of you have heard this, but it's so important that I really want to talk about it. So 50% of the time that you spend on social media, you want it to be personal connecting, and that's on your business, on your personal Facebook, okay? Connecting, liking, commenting, sharing, branding yourself. 40% of your time, which is your business and your personal, you want to be spending educating, inspiring, and motivating, positioning yourself as the expert in your field. And then guess what? When you're spending 90% of your time branding yourself and educating, inspiring, and motivating, your influence is huge. And then the more influence you have, the less you have to promote. So really, it's 10% to promote, okay? 10%. So I like to think of the internet as, I like to use the analogy of a ship. If a ship is taking off toward a destination and you shift the trajectory by 1 degree, the ship is going to end up on a different continent. And that's the continent where your clients are not. So it's really important that you start from the right place. And this brings us to the first step in your internet marketing success. Okay, you have to start from the right place, which is your niche. Who are you talking to? Okay, you have to really start there. If you're doing all of this stuff on Facebook and you're doing all these different things and you're not starting from the right place, you are not going to get the results that you want, because you're going to totally miss your ideal clients. So the very first step is mastering your niche, which is, who are you talking to? How do you help them? And what are you offering? What are you selling? The second thing is, and this is the second step to mastering your internet marketing, which is, what are you selling? What is your offer? What is the plan? How are you going to attract people to your online presence? That includes your free thing, your easy yes, your next thing. What is your plan? You need to have a plan, okay? And then the next step is, and this is the missing link to your internet marketing success. Okay, so how many people, I know I can't see you guys and I can't see the chat, but I'm imagining that you're all raising your hand when you hear people say, oh, you know, email marketing is dead, email marketing is worthless, a waste of time. Well, guess what? If all you're doing is selling with your email marketing, yes, it is a waste of time. Email marketing is to educate, inspire, and motivate, and a little bit of promote. And if you are not having an email marketing program that's like, you know, Constant Contact or something like that, using social media is like chasing a flash mob. You're going to find them on Facebook, and then they're on LinkedIn, and then they're on Instagram, and you're just going to be chasing people all over the place. And then when they leave that platform, they go to the next shiny bright object, you don't have them anymore. You cannot use Facebook as your database, okay? Internet marketing includes email marketing. Only a small percentage of people are ready for you right now. You have to have a container to stay in touch with people until they're ready for you, to let them get to know you better. If you don't have that, guess what? When they're ready, they go to the person who is in front of them. And 3 years or 6 months or 2 weeks later, you're like, hey, That's what I'm doing, but they're using the other person because you weren't staying in touch with them. Okay, and then the fourth step to mastering your internet marketing is your expression. Okay, what are you going to say? So most of us, what do? You get onto social media and you go, what should I say? And that's really not the first step. The first step is, who am I talking to? How do I help them and what do I offer? What's my plan? Build a list, and then what should I say? So you have a strategy. I call this intentional social media, because you have an intention, and your social media is a marketing opportunity, okay? It's not just random. It's something that is intentional and will bring you the clients ongoing that you're looking for. So then, of course, bring your whole heart to your online presence, share your experience, be authentic, build relationships, and share your transformation. Share the transformation that you offer, and share the transformation that your clients experience, of course, with permission or using fake names. So there are many different ways to grow your business using your personal and your business page. And this is really important for this particular strategy, that the business and personal page are to be used together. They're to be used in tandem. You can't just set up a personal page and go like, okay, I'm just going to use my business page. You have to use them both to connect with people, to share content on your business page, to share events, to have groups, to do Facebook Live, and to share videos. There's all kinds of ways to use your business page, but you have to use them together, okay? Because Facebook wants you to be a person. So they give you the most reach on your personal page, but the business page is a place to bring in the rest of your business. The way I describe it is, your personal page is to share your passion for your business, and your business page is to share your business. So I want to do a breakout, and I want to talk to you about, I want you to talk about this question. The question is, what is one upgrade you could make today to bring your whole heart essence to your online presence? And we're going to put you in groups of 4. You're going to have like 90 seconds. So somebody could be the timer. It's probably a couple of sentences just to start thinking about, how could you take your online presence to the next step? So I am going to defer to our team at this point to do that.
Yes, it is all ready, Diana. So
Okay.
we're ready to go. On your cue, I'll put
Okay.
everybody in the rooms.
Go.
All
You're
right,
gonna
here
have-
we go.
You're going to have 7 minutes total. All right. Welcome back. So I was in a room and I bumped myself out and had to log back in. So I lost the whole chat. So if anybody asks any questions or anything, please put them in the chat. And also, if you would, what I would love is if people put in the chat what their upgrades are that they're going to do. And in the meantime, how much time do I have, Athena?
Tanya has a time, so she will have to let us know. Tanya, do you have that for Diana?
Yes. Trying to see what time it is. You've got about 5 minutes.
Okay, perfect.
8 minutes.
Okay, even more perfect. 3 minutes more perfect. Okay, so yeah, if you put your, because I want to see what the upgrades that everybody's going to make. And so what I also would love to know is if people got some value from the talk, and if there are some things, okay, I'm going to start doing Facebook Live each week to promote my things, my things, events I have going on, posting more consistently engaging in groups. Awesome, thank you. So what I wanted to do is just sort of summarize what I talked about today, which is the 4 steps to a successful social media online presence. And if there's nothing else, this is what I hope you got out of this, because my experience is with so many people that they are doing all the things, you know, I do Facebook, I do this, I do that, and they're not monetizing. And so that makes me crazy. And so that's because it's like you have this great car and it's this beautiful car and something wrong with it, and you don't know what's wrong with it, and there's like one of the wheels doesn't turn right and the steering wheel doesn't turn left, and you can't figure out what's wrong with the car. So this is what is wrong with the car. Something is missing. Either you're off on your niche, you're off on your offer, you're off on your list, or you're off on your messaging. And the first place it starts is with really understanding social media. So the thing that I would like to offer everybody, I have 2 offers, and I would like to give you both of my offers. My free offer is I would like to stay in touch with you by signing up for the Whole Heart Marketing Report. It's my blog. It comes out every couple of weeks. It's non-techie strategies in plain English to grow your online presence. And every so often I send out something about some event or something, but it's basically 90% give and 5 to 10% promote. So that's my free thing. And there's also a free webinar on my website that you can download, just sort of a review of a lot of what I talked about today. And if you are ready to take your online presence to the next level, to catapult your social media results, I would like to offer you a 6-week training. And this is a training on Facebook for Business. And this is a training for people in this niche. And it's for people who are really struggling with, how come I'm not getting what I want to get in terms of results? And even if you took my class like, you know, a year ago, because Facebook changes every 5 minutes, this class is going to be different than the class you took a year ago. I always tell people whatever I'm teaching you was true as of last night. So you're getting the hottest off the press information about Facebook. And it's $197 for the 6 weeks. It's live virtual training. It's me, okay? It's not like a recording, although I do record it because, as you can see, I'm a fire hoser and I give you so much information so you can review it. And I also have a workbook. I have checklists and all kinds of things like that. Now, just because I'm in the mood today, anyone who signs up today, you are also going to get a 30-minute one-on-one coaching session with me. And it's not on whatever you want, and it'll be after the class, so you can, like, whatever is the next, you know, thing you want to ask questions about. And that's not even all. I have a 6-week blogging class that's recorded. Get your blog on, how to blog for business, including SEO, and how to blog for SEO and for the reader. There you go. And I'm offering, included in this, my 6-week blogging class. So if you sign up by Monday, I'm going to give you till Monday because I'm not a sign up today person, you get the 30-minute coaching session and you get the 6-week blogging class. And I have numerous sessions of my 6-week class. So I have them ongoing, but you have to sign up, just sign up for one of them now. And if you can't make that one, I will offer you a different one. So don't worry. And what you're going to get from this is you're going to really learn how to use Facebook for Business. You're going to learn where to play and what to say. You're going to learn free and paid reach strategies on Facebook, how to create your whole heart online presence on any social media platform, because everything I'm going to tell you on Facebook is applicable to all social media. You're going to learn how to make your social media matter, and you're going to learn how to get the results that you want. So if this is something that you are interested in, the website, it's wholeheartmarketing.com/offer, wholeheartmarketing.com, www.wholeheartmarketing.com/offer. And I invite you to check it out. If you have questions, you can ask me about it. I didn't really plan to have a breakout room around this afterwards, but I'm happy you can ask me, you know, I can schedule a call with you. But, you know, I really want to encourage you to take this next step to catapulting your results. And here's the one last thing. If you are already in that class, because some of you are already in that class right now, I have another killer offer for you which I'm not going to bring up now because it's irrelevant to the rest of you, please contact me for the killer offer that I have for you after the 6-week class. And I don't know, like, I guess I'm probably at the end. I can't, oh, thank you for that. And thank you, Tanya. Hiring Diana was the smartest business plan I ever made. I also have done for you, done with you services, yes. And I also do strategic consulting if you just want someone to help you create your strategy and then train you and your assistant. I can do that. So I can basically do whatever you want me to do to help you take your online presence to the next level. And I want to thank you guys all for being here and for listening. It was a pleasure to be here and to share my message. And I hope to inspire all of you to raise the consciousness of Facebook.
So fantastic. Let's all come off mute and give Diana some applause.
Thank you. And with 1 minute and 37 seconds to spare.
Yeah, girl.
Thanks, you guys.
Great. Anna, that was amazing. And someone else posted too, fire hoses are fine. You're right, because we have the recording. And,
Okay.
and it wasn't, you probably think it's worse than it is. I thought it was, and as someone who's in your current class right now, I'm interested to find out what you're talking about for the extra. And you know, I've been doing a lot of social media for a long time, and I'm learning a lot from Diana, and that just goes to show you her mastery and how she can stay up to date of the changes and really how it matters specifically for your business, not just, oh yeah, I post all the time, and oh yeah, this and that strategic part of it, and the ability to really bring you into it, not just the what you're doing, but who you are. Fabulous. I love it.
Thank you.
So
Thank
my
you.
pleasure. My pleasure to gush about you. Do make sure that you scroll up a little bit to her links, get to her newsletter, wholeheartmarketing.com/offer. Run, do not walk to that workshop. I highly recommend. Thank you, Diana. I'm super excited now to transition us to our next speaker, and I'm going to make sure up anymore today. Our next speaker is someone that I have had the pleasure of being connected to for a few months now, starting to know, and every time I see her online or in person on Zoom and hear her speak and talk about how she's serving her clients and the impact she's making in the world, it's just so inspiring. She's super fabulous. Shea is a transformational speaker, small business and empowerment coach, and she's the founder of the Women Christian Life Coach School. She's talking about women whose lives she's changing by teaching them how to run their own businesses and how to become their own life coaches with faith-based truth and belief that it can happen for them, and of course that means that it's happening for her as well. She's going to talk today about positioning your life coaching business to create wealth. That is what changes lives and changes the community and everyone around us. So Shea, I'm super excited to welcome you here. Take it away, my friend.
Thank you so much, Tracy. I appreciate this opportunity for being here. I consider you my Blitz partner. And so thank you so much. And thank you, Tanya, again, for this amazing platform and opportunity. I don't have any slides. Me and my busy self didn't get an opportunity to get completed, but I really believe I got some good tips to share with everyone here that you can really implement and really grow your life coaching business. Even if you don't consider yourself as a life coach, you are doing consulting, you're doing some type of training, these tips can really be implemented to help continue to grow your business. So Tracy shared who I am, and I just give you a little background of how I got started. I've been in business now as a coach for 10 years. This year made it 10 years actually. And when I first started coaching, I've been in this for 10 years. I've been full-time for the last 8 years. And so when I first started, I shared this, that I have made so many mistakes trying to, the coaching industry is so many people are doing it, and so many people have the answer, and so many people have the solutions, etc. And so I was just following what everyone else was doing. I was doing it like everyone else, trying to find my path, and was a complete failure. Even though failure is an experience that you learn from, and that's why I feel like I am at a point of qualified to share with you how you can help your business grow. So one of the first things I want to share is, in any business, in any platform, in anything you are, and I do have notes here, so if you guys see me look down, that means I'm looking at my notes. My belief, and I believe that you will receive this, is that we have all been given a gift, right? We all are gifted in some way, form, or fashion. And I do use the word God, so I'm not here to oppose anyone, but I believe that we were all born wealthy. You already are wealthy. You already have what you need inside of you to build an incredible life. And I believe that all of us have something to share that will transform the lives of people in the marketplace. And I use the life coaching platform, and I coach other women to use the life coaching platform as that vehicle to really create transformational change. You may say, well, Shaya, I'm really not coaching people. I'm training, I'm consulting. And here's my answer to that. If we're working with people, if you are speaking into the lives of people, if you are serving people in any platform, you, my sister, my brother, is coaching. Whether you want to believe that or not, it is what you're doing. We all provide transformation in some way, form, or fashion in what we offer. And so when you align yourself to what your gift is, when you align yourself to what you and your calling is, that is where you tap into wealth, and that is where you'll be able to build and create something that is amazing. The reason why I use the word the word wealth versus money, because wealth can mean different for many people. It could mean wealth in your health, wealth in having finances. For me, wealth means both finances, and it means to able to serve humanity and able to live a life that I desire to live as well. So when you unleash what God has placed inside of you, your gifts are the very thing that will bring you joy. It will bring you fulfillment. Your gifts will lead you to your calling, and not only that, it will bring financial freedom. And so I want to share my journey, in the midst of the pandemic. March is when I remember us really, things starting to shift, what's going to happen. And to be honest with you, it didn't dawn on me in my business. And I love what Diana said, how I realized I've been able to build something that the marketplace needs, not just for tomorrow, not just for today, but it is here for eternity. That means I've aligned myself with my gift. It never dawned on me that I was going to struggle or have some challenges in my business. Because of the coaching services that we created, we're able to be sustainable, create longevity, and be consistent. Can I get an amen on that, right? Longevity, consistency. And so when I realized that, I was like, oh my God, coaching is such a powerful platform, but within coaching, there's so many different streams of income. So Tanya told us not to pivot. Of course, that's the word we use when, everybody says, oh, we're pivoting. But I realized we were shifting on how we served. Still the same type of service, but it was the way it was being served. Most of us did a lot of things in person, but we had to shift it online. You are already born wealthy. Number one, you were designed by God to be known because of your gift. So Diana talked about using the social media platform, and I'm not a social media expert at all. I don't know, I'm just there. And so, but what I realized, when I show up in my gift, when I show up in my authenticity, when I show up in of what I've been created to do, I attract people to me. I don't have to chase, I don't have to run, but I attract. So when I am coaching and using my life coaching platform as that vehicle, my gift attracts people and not repel. So that's the important thing about serving in or using a life coaching platform to build wealth when you operate in your gift. To fulfill the vision God has given you, you must activate your gift. And then once your gift is activated, the world will make room for you to receive it. It begins to happen organically. Yes, you will have systems. Yes, you will have structure. And yes, you will have things in place, but you begin to build an amazing organization. I call it your life coaching empire, organically and authentically. In a few minutes, I'm going to be sharing 7 different streams of income that you can really operate even no matter what you're doing right now. It could be something that you can add to what you're already doing. And this is what I talk about in coaching. The next part I want to share is in coaching, when I'm coaching my clients, we just don't talk about selling. Now, I am in part of Katarina's amazing, powerful program, and I love it. And this adds to what she coaches and teaches, is that when I shifted my mind to say, I'm not selling Diane, I'm not selling Tracy, I'm not selling Erica, but I'm offering you an opportunity for you to transform your life. That's what I do. I don't sell you anything. I'm giving you an opportunity to transform your life. When I shifted my mind and offering what I do and the services I provide, because here's the deal, everybody, like I said, there's coaches everywhere, like the liquor store, they're on every corner, they're everywhere. And so in order for me to really separate myself from what the other coach is doing, I realized that the service that we provide, it creates transformation. And that is exactly what you do as well. So when you go to talk about your services and you go to talk about what you're doing to help people, you are actually help transforming their lives through what you provide. So that's what shifts and position you to build your life coaching business, creating wealth. You may say, Shaya, well, I'm just a speaker. That's all I want to do. I want to speak. Well, at the end of the day, if you need to add more income, I suggest that you come up with some coaching to help people in their speaking. And that is helping you create wealth. All right, so I'm gonna go to my next screen here. Well, I can see the screen from here. So I want everyone to type in the chat room, and I really can't see it because I got my thing here. Get out of your own way. I want you to type that. Get out of your own way. I say this all the time. Get out of your own way. We overthink. We are looking at what everyone else is doing. We're looking at her website. We're looking at, oh, she got this sales funnel. Oh my God. We're just doing a lot of things, right? And we're stuck. We're stuck in our mindset on how we can really create wealth. So I want to share with you coaching or 7 streams of income that you can implement already with your community and your tribe. And I think Ariel, hopefully I'm saying her name right, said it once. And the number 1 is to write your own book. The reason why the book in itself is not to create wealth, but it is to create credibility and build influence. That is the tool that the book will do and what you offer, if you haven't done that also. One of the other things that we've done is that we have created book compilations. I know you guys have seen them everywhere. I know for me, that was a pivotal moment in 2015. in our business, wow, that's been 5 years ago, good Lord. So 2015, we had women that we were coaching and helping them grow their business. So we created a book compilation for them to share their story. And that shifted our business to the next level to continue to bring in consistent income. Number 2 is to offer private one-on-one coaching, signature coaching programs. So I'm going to stop there just for a few minutes. In the pandemic, the reason why, or in this pandemic, coaching is surviving and thriving is because it helps people with emotional and spiritual and mental and personal and physical, help them continue to grow or either get out where they are. Right now, we're in a place where, as everyone has talked about, the so much fear through the media, so much anger, so much rage, and coaching, everyone is turning for someone for help. They're turning for someone to get support and to be encouraged. And so offering your services individually, so you may say, well, I already have a group and I got several people I want to work with. If this is what you want to do, you can add an additional service of signature coaching to your one-on-one client, to what you already are creating, and that is another way to bring in more income. Number 3 is to launch a group coaching program. Some of you already are doing that. It's one of the best ways to leverage your time, help more people, and make more money as a coach when you launch your coaching group. Number 4, you may want to create your own e-product, digital product, if that's one of the service. Host a workshop, a training where everybody's doing it on virtually now. So it's easier for more people to attend your workshop. Here's what I want to share. Everybody write this down. What really created stability in the life coaching business? Our business model is a membership platform. That's the business model we've created. When I started the business model in 2015, 5 years ago, had no idea that 5 years later, we will be in a pandemic. It created the stability. Can I share with you how many people quit our program when it happened? Anybody got a guess? Let me see. 1. We have about 49 clients through our programs, and 1 quit. I believe it is the membership platform that created the stability. The reason why I'm sharing that is that in the membership, our clients, and I got, I think there's a few ladies here, I believe they're getting value, they're getting the support, they're getting the encouragement. I'm quite sure they thought about it. I'm quite sure they was like, I don't know if I wanted to continue to do this, but some way, somehow, they found value and they stayed. And of course, I took it up a notch. I'm like, my main purpose right now is to serve my clients. It's a win for them and definitely a win for me. So my encouragement, if you have not created a membership type platform, I believe it would be one of the greatest tools that you can create or service that you can create that will bring stability to your coaching business. I think one of those things are kind of overlooked. Don't make the process complicated. Just know what you offer and how you serve your clients and be consistent. All right, the last one I will share is, of course, being a speaker. Tanya has created an amazing platform on speakers getting out, sharing their message with amazing women and men like yourself. And so and the reason why I said get out of your own way, I am the one that had to get out of her own way. Let me just tell the truth. Because Tanya, no, I was not the one that was going to do the pay to play. Was not going to happen. In my mind, I was the bomb. Who am I paying to hear me speak? I'm being funny, but in my mind, I had to really think about, it's not about that. It really is about building community. It really is about building influence, connecting and getting to amazing, or connecting with other amazing women such as yourselves. And so when I shifted my mindset from that, I was able to get out of my own way. And now I'm speaking to over 30 amazing women right now. So that's what's awesome. I don't know how many minutes I got left, but I'm almost done. I want to talk about really quick, even though you've been in business a long time and you've been doing this thing or whatever, I think that the benefits of a life coaching training is still important as building as a business owner, personal development. I look at it as an opportunity to have personal development. So I'm going to share 7 more things that will help you with why life coach training is, I believe, in any stage of life, a great opportunity to continue to build your personal development. And number 1 is getting clear about your heart's desires. We evolve as people. We don't stay the same. And so our desires do change. And being a part of a great training allows and helps you to continue to evolve and get clear about what it is that you desire and what it is that you want. And so it is a great time, again, and during this time, to really get clear, what do I want my 2021 or even closing out this year to look like for myself? What do I want it to look like? Number 2, it increases your confidence and it improves your self-image. Again, we are inundated with so much things through the social media platform, which is amazing. And so we want to continue to build our confidence and build our self-image in ourselves. And being a part of a training allows you to continue to work on you as an individual. And especially if you're building other people, if you're pouring into other people, I just think it's responsibility for you to continue to pour into your own self and get the support and help you need. Number 3, you would execute the steps that's needed. And sometimes I mentioned earlier, we do get stuck because of we've done things, we don't know what to do. And so it'll help you get clear about what your next steps are as well. Number 4 is the hope. You are the hope of change. And I want to spend a little bit of time here right now. I know that it's so easy to look at what's happening negatively. It is negative, to be honest with you. We could see the deaths. We can see the disparities in the government. We can see the tension and the wrath or whatever. But you've been chosen. You have been called to be the hope of change. It's you. And if you're looking to someone else over here, they can't do it, but you can do it. So I look at business owners. We're more than, I need to go out here and make money, and I got to do this, I got to do that. But we become the hope of change. People see us operating with other people. And so it's important for us to continue to pour into ourselves, get the support, get what we needed so we can be that light. In scripture, it says that we are the salt of the earth. We are the flavor of the earth. That means that when we are the salt, we bring the light. We bring what's different. We bring the change that's needed to help us move forward. We becomes the leader of the hope of change. And so that's why life coaching is a powerful, it is a majestic, I think, platform. If used correctly, it could really change the lives of people. Number 5, it helps you to overcome inner conflict, insecurities, and fear. Now, I don't care how long you've been doing this and whatever, we still got little insecurities that pops up, that inner conflict that we got going on, it pops up some kind of way. That fear that pops up some kind of way, it shows up. It shows up because how you present yourself. It shows up in your conversation. It shows up on how you do business. And so we have to continue to work on that. I am never, I try my best to be really authentic and be honest. And there are moments where I'm having some major inner conflict. The awesome thing about life coaching is you have the tools that is needed to help bring yourself up out of those inner conflicts and those insecurities and fear. I'm quick to say, you know what, you're doing a lot. You're doing a whole lot. Get it together and just get over yourself. You important, but no one's thinking of, have you ever, anybody got to raise their hand, you thinking somebody thinking something about you? And people living their life. They're not even thinking of you like that. So it's really important that you have the tools to help you with that. All right. Number 6, it helps you transform goals into plans. Goals into plans. And we quick to set goals. Oh, I'm gonna set goals like this. I'm gonna do it like that. I'm gonna do it this way. I'm gonna do it that way. But it never manifests because we didn't take action. And so helping you with the tools needed, not only to set the goal, but to create some accountability, to create some support so you can implement the plan that you want to execute. All right. And number 7, accountability partnerships. We all need each other. We all need support. Of course, you want the right people in your circle. You want the right community. And so having the accountability partnerships allows, in the coaching, allows you to be held accountable. Not that friend that's going to tell you, girl, I understand. Oh, I know. Girl, yeah, me too. You don't want that. You want someone that's like, hey, you know what? You're doing a lot. You said you was going to do this. What's the problem? Get it together. Or, how can I help you move forward? I have a friend, and we talk all the time, and she was habitual late, just late to everything, just could never be on time, and it was driving me insane. So I was like, how can I help you be on time? What can I do to help you? And we laugh about it now because she beats me now. But my point is really having that accountability and partnerships. And so those are the very simple things that I wanted to share that will help you build an amazing life coaching business. It will help you create wealth. It's simple things that you've heard over and over again that you actually need to implement. And when you implement it, you can really create change. I will end with this. You've heard amazing speakers, and we'll hear more today. And you're going to try to figure out what should I do? And I shared this before. Choose 3 things that you've heard over a time. Choose just 3 simple things and go and implement. When you choose those simple things, you'll get the help that you need and support to continue to move forward. So with that, I want to invite you, and Miss Tanya, I don't know if you guys have my little slide there or my one little pager. I do a 1-hour virtual workshop. Tanya, you there?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I think I forgot to send it. Did I send it? No, she didn't. It was supposed to be a slide, but it was a flyer, and so I didn't. We didn't know how to share
I can
that.
share it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I have it. I'm prepared. Okay, let me see.
Thank you, Saya.
Let me make sure if I can share it. I do have it here. Give me 1 minute. As I do have a event that is coming up, and October 17th. It is a 1-hour virtual workshop, and the name of the workshop is what I just talked to you about today: position your life coaching business to create wealth. Let me see if I can share. Oh, there it is. Okay. Can you guys see that?
Mm-hmm.
Is it little? I don't know if it's big or little, but
It's big.
It's big. Okay. And so it's just 1 hour. And I go more into depth of what I shared today. We take an hour, you get to share, introduce, it comes with a little mini workbook. So all you have to do, and it's in the chat room, if you go to the Life Coach the Woman Christian CEO Life Coach School.com/create wealth. You can get registered. I also want to share, do not be thinking that, oh, I'm not a Christian, I cannot attend. I mean, of course, I do align myself with my faith, but it's not like that. It is not like, oh, I can't come to you because I'm a Christian. It really is from a place of faith and a place of encouragement. So I really encourage you, amazing ladies and a few men who would like to attend, just click that link in the chat room, and I would love to see you there. So thank you again for this opportunity. This is awesome. And this is great. Thank you.
Shaya, I want to take a minute and
Yes,
just
ma'am.
say thank you, because I know that there are 4 other major events, virtual events going on in Sacramento today.
Oh, yeah.
4 major ones.
Yes.
And Shaya could have been at any of those sharing her wisdom, and she chose us.
Yes, ma'am.
Shaya and I are kind of grown up together
Yes.
in
We
this
have.
business. And I really have to tell you, when I was talking about having people in your community that will call you and say, what you doing? That will say, you were on this track. Tanya,
Right.
why are you not coaching? Why are you stopping the one-on-ones? Are you going to do groups? She asks you the questions that make you think.
Yeah.
And she doesn't blow, excuse my expression, she doesn't blow smoke up your butt. She
No.
tells you what you need to hear. She might not tell you what you want to hear,
Right.
but she's going to definitely tell you what you need to hear. That's the Midwest in us.
Yeah.
So it may
Yeah.
come off as a little blunt, but it's with a good heart.
Yeah.
Because when you function in your purpose and in your gifts, people come to you.
Yes.
It's in the Bible that your gifts will put you in front of great men and people.
Yeah.
So if something's not right, you need to tweak it. You need to shift it.
That's right.
So I just had to say that and tell you thank you, because like I said, I know that we have grown together, and she would call me in the middle of the night and say, why did you do that? Da 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 da. And I'm like, oh, okay, thank you. I won't do that no more.
Yeah.
Because you have, in order to be a coach, you
Mhm.
have to be coachable. And a lot of us aren't coachable.
Oof. Oof. Oh, you just stepped on some toes.
Sorry.
It's the truth, though. It's real talk.
Before you can be a chief, you got to be a good Indian.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm done.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, Tanya. Absolutely right. I appreciate for sharing with me and allowing me to be here. I don't know if you guys know the story how we met. Did I ever share that story? We met at the bank. I was a bank teller. And she came in, and I'm like, girl, you won't see me next week. I'm out. And that's been, 8 years ago.
I used to wait and let people go in front of me so that I could go to her window, because we'd be there for like 20 minutes talking.
Yeah.
Awesome. It's so great.
Thank
And
you.
People show up
she
in our
did
lives when they're
disappear
supposed
on
to
me.
show up in our lives.
Yeah.
Right. All right, you guys, that is fabulous. Shaya, I've got a page full of notes and a heart that's just like exploding with your energy. I swear, all of that, I'm glad you could all be here to hear Shaya talk to me today, because I felt every minute of your time. So thank you so much. We're going to take a little, wait, so it says break, but the break has an amazing event during the break, right? It's not really a break. It's like speaking to see some amazing demonstration. Introduce my friend, Deborah Costella, Chef Deborah. So excited that she's here. Deb is someone who I met, gosh, it's been almost 2 years, I think, and because time flies. And when she first came here to Santa Cruz from Las Vegas, and we had an amazing coffee over here at Lulu's downtown, I'll never forget that day. And we just connected and clicked, and her energy and her fun in bringing her expertise to the people who are looking for what she's got. She's an amazing chef. She does personal chef. She's not a caterer. She does personal chef work, and she has amazing recipes as well. And today she's going to share not only something that she's going to make, but she's going to demo it for us. I don't know what she's making, so we're going to get to find out that together. But I hope that you can all, put your screen on full size so you can see what she's doing, because this is going to be super fun. Deb, take it away, my friend.
Thank you so much, Tracy, and I'm so much more comfortable with you here today. You're kind of like a little, comfort blanket for me.
My circle for you.
Yeah, so make sure you're on gallery view though, friends, because one camera is going to give you my face, and the other camera you're going to see my cutting board. Alrighty, so let me move this little thing out of the way.
And then Deborah,
Yes.
actually, with the new features of Zoom, your table is right next to you in the
Look
in
how
the speaker view.
amazing you are. I love this. Okay, so thank you. That makes it easier. All right, so you can see, let me tell you a little bit about Cosmic Muffin Cafe and what I do. I work as a personal chef, and I appreciate Tracy pointing out there is a difference between a personal chef and a caterer. And I'm a personal chef. That means I usually cook on site in your home or at your place of business or schools. Whereas caterers cook off-site and transport hot foods. Personal chefs don't do that. And I also, which I love doing, is teach. I've been a culinary instructor and a chef now for 20 years, but it was in 2014 that I put a little spin on the way I produce food. I was a primary caregiver for my youngest brother, Lawrence. He had a long and ugly and difficult, painful battle with cancer. And so, of course, my brother at the time in, I think, 2013 and 14 was utilizing medicinal marijuana. And the doctors weren't exactly thrilled that he was doing that because it was still smoking. Even though he was using a water pipe, he was still smoking. But they backed off a little bit because they knew the cannabis helped to minimize the pain, dull the pain that he was in, constant pain, helped to peak what lack of appetite, and also to kind of calm the nausea a little bit. So they didn't bust his chops too much, and I was cooking for him and taking care of him. My brother passed at age 50 in 2014, and about 6 weeks later, I happened to be at a party talking to some friends in Vegas and met somebody who attended Foothill Junior College, because I grew up here in Palo Alto. And they said, I don't remember anybody named Deborah Costella. And I said, that wasn't my name then, it was Vioricio, but I had a nickname that everybody knew me by, because Foothill was really small back then in the 70s. And it was Cosmic Muffin. Somebody else at the party was right behind us and stuck their head in and asked, so what kind of muffins were you making? Well, that phrase, that question was going round and around in my head. It's like a little light bulb went off and I couldn't let go of it. And I was thinking, yeah, what kind of muffins? I wasn't making any muffins. I should have been doing that. And I should have been putting some of the cannabis, medicinal cannabis in my brother's food. That would have alleviated the smoking problem, but still he would have benefited from the medicine. So I turned everything around, and I now adhere to Hippocrates' adage, let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. I loved what Shea was talking about before me. Shea, you were a great segue, because there were two words that you kept saying. One was serve, inserting, and that's what I do as a chef. I cook for you. I want to nourish you. I want your palate to dance with happiness, and also transformation. And when I cook, I am in the process of transforming food into not only something palatable, but something medicinal for your bodies. So I want to show you, you too, in your own cupboard and refrigerator, have lots of medicine right now. And if you look at my cutting board, I'm going to show you some of what we have here. I have right down here some cumin seed. All right, you all have some cumin. I've toasted this ahead of time because I wanted to use this for the recipe. Cumin, I want to talk to you about, is actually medicinally, it's a great source of iron, aids in diabetes, and also helps to kind of fight off bacteria and parasites. But more than that, all of these herbs and spices, they also have energy. They have energy. Cumin, so I always think about that when I'm cooking. Be present. You know how they talk about eating, mindful eating, don't rush through your food. I like to engage in mindful cooking. So when I'm adding these herbs and spices, which I used to just do for flavor, now I do it for the energy. And cumin, the energy associated with cumin is engagement and listening. Over here, I have some turmeric. That's a big hot spice right now. There's turmeric capsules and turmeric everything. But I want to tell you that turmeric not only lends color to the food, like if you're making paella and you're not enthusiastic or you can't afford the saffron, turmeric is going to be wonderful for you. Turmeric adds color. And it also is great for brain health. Right now, those of us in baby boomers, I'm well over 60. I'm really cognizant of the fact that, you know, forgetfulness and memory and onset of dementia is, you know, a possibility. Turmeric slows down the growth of plaque on the brain. And it's that plaque that interferes with memory and cognitive ability. So that's turmeric's medicinal. But in terms of its energy, turmeric is about the ability to make the most of what you have, In the middle right here, this kind of brown, sandy looking, this is coriander, ground coriander, which I'm going to use today in my recipe. Ground coriander is actually corianders from the seeds of cilantro. Although if you're not a cilantro person, you're not going to get that soapy taste from just the spice, from the seeds. Coriander supports liver health and colon functions. Also, like turmeric, brain health, but her energy is magic. She's kind of magical, all right? Over here, I have cinnamon. Cinnamon and turmeric, I will always I grind my own coffee beans because I use a French press. And after I ground the beans, I put a good pinch of turmeric for my brain and cinnamon because I like the flavor. It's warmth, it's soothing. That's it, the energy for cinnamon, okay? And it's also an anti-inflammatory for us. Over here, this green is dill. Dill's an unsung hero. I love dill. Dill will actually, chock full of vitamin C. It aids in, it helps with digestion and freshens your breath. If you eat some fresh dill, this is dried, it will freshen your breath. In terms of her energy, courage, and security. That's what dill offers. And I like to throw in something fun. Over here, I have some culinary lavender. So this is culinary grown. You can't just like go grab some rosemary or culinary from out in the rosemary or lavender out in the garden and use it in food. It has to be grown to be utilized in food. Lavender, we all know aromatic, you know, she's calms and she reduces anxiety, but her energy, the energy of lavender, is also loving and calm, and also distrust. If you're having issues with somebody that maybe you think is less trustworthy, maybe put a little lavender, make them some lavender lemon muffins or something, and that will help with that. Over here, of course, I have some basil, fresh basil. Basil actually is an antioxidant and anti-inflammatory, and her energy source is good wishes, good, you know, love and all of that. Rosemary, okay, we love the rosemary. She's right here. Rosemary, also an antioxidant and anti-inflammatory. So I'm going to get those out of the way. I'm going to be utilizing, as I said, the cumin and the coriander in our recipe very quickly. Let me put that over here for right now. And my two other important medicines, of course, CBD oil, I'll use the tincture, and my favorite plant of nature, cannabis. So this is some trim. I do this also, I'll prepare this, decarboxylate it, and I prepare my butters and oils, and I infuse some of my foods with this. So I have all kinds of medicine here. This little container right here, my friends, I'll just show you. I'm not doing anything with it today. This is just a can of balm for bruising, arthritis. It's a topical medicine. I make this from the roots of the plant. So I use every part of the cannabis plant. All right, yesterday, if you were here with us, I talked about how what's in our cupboard and refrigerator offers remedies for our skin. I did an egg white mask, and then I did an avocado hair mask. Today, we're gonna talk about the inside. So I have here some Beyond Beef. It's not real meat, it's plant-based beef. We have some AP flour, all-purpose flour. I have lemons and limes. We're going to utilize lemons and limes. I have some of my little smidge of vegetable broth. I make my own from, vegetables that I haven't utilized. I cut, slice, and dice. I'll freeze them, and then I'll make a broth. Coconut, also. Coconut, let's talk about coconut for a second. Coconut is really high in magnesium and rich in copper. Great for bone health. That's what coconut is. So we're going to utilize coconut today. And an egg, protein, some yogurt. I have a non-dairy yogurt here. And of course, some garlic. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to take some of those spices and I'm going to season my flour, and I'm going to go ahead and put in a pinch of my coriander, a good pinch of salt. You want to season as you go. We like layers of seasoning, and some of that cumin seed that I have already toasted. And I'm just going to introduce these spices to the flour. Yay, hello everybody. We're all friends now, so that's going to be all ready. All right, I have my garlic here. I want my garlic finely minced, so I'm going to go ahead and take my skin off by using this fun little tool here. I'm not really big on, what do you call those, garlic presses. But sometimes when I want my garlic really small, because I don't feel like letting my guest bite into a chunk of garlic, I'll make it nice and small. So after we get the skin off, we're going to go ahead and use my little thing here and press this, move out of the way my coconut. And nice and small, rock this back and forth. And I have some nicely minced little bits of garlic that will go in there, okay? So first of all, I want to get my flour seasoned. I'm going to need a little bit of egg, right? I'm going to put this up, and all of this is going to go into the Beyond Beef, all right? So salt, are we close? There we go. Salt, pepper, nice. Cumin and coriander. No turmeric, just the cumin and the coriander. Okay. The garlic. I want this in here, right in there. Okay. The egg. This is a half batch, so I'm not going to use all of this egg, otherwise this will be too wet. Alrighty. And I am going to put on my food handler's gloves because I'm on TV. And that's important to do. And even though this isn't real beef, I still want to make sure that I've got this together. I'm just going to blend this up a little bit. Work it together. Make it happy. All right. Great. Okay. Actually, you'll have to excuse me. I'm a raw hand chef, so I wash my hands about 200 times a day, way before COVID even happened. All righty. So we've got this ready. So we're going to take this. I'm going to move my camera over to the stove with me. You want to come with me to the stove? Yes, chef, we want to come with you to the stove. Okay, here we go. All right. All right. And you can see my stove is here. We're going to put a little heat on. All right. Bring my meat. I also want to put a little coconut in here. I put a little coconut in the beef too, in the Beyond Beef, all right? You have the recipes for this. I believe Tonya and Athena got the recipes going, all right?
Yes, it's in the chat, Deborah.
It's in the chat? Yay. Okay. And since there's beef on my hands, I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna use a smidge of grapeseed oil. Olive oil is what I love to cook with. I know a lot of people are concerned about heating olive oil and breaking down the nutritional benefits, and that's true. When you apply heat to anything, you're going to change the molecular structure. But I'm using grapeseed oil. It has a really high smoking point. That means it doesn't burn quickly. Butter burns at 325. Olive oil burns at about 350, 360. Olive oil, avocado oil, hazelnut oil, those all have a really high smoking point, okay? And I just need a little bit. I'm using a non-stick pan. If you're concerned and trying to watch your weight and don't want to use any, you don't have to. Unless you're using a plant-based meat protein, then you're going to have to because there's no fat, okay? So what I'm
So
doing,
Deborah,
yes.
Deborah, would you like for us to ask any questions if we'd like?
Sure, yes, I love that. That helps
Okay.
me feel like I'm talking to real people. Thank you.
So if anybody would like to ask Deborah any questions, go ahead and take yourself off of mute and ask while she's warming up the
So
patties.
we're making just small patties. These are little, this is a little appetizer. These are actually small non-meat patties with a spicy sauce. So as soon as I get these in the pan, we're gonna make a little sauce, okay? So I'm letting my oil heat up.
I have a question. Deborah?
Yes, I'm listening.
My question is, you said something real quickly before about you don't like to use the garlic press too much. So
I don't.
what is that about? Is that like for a healing thing or?
I just don't think they're easy to clean, and I think it's one more. There's some wonderful tools out there, some not so wonderful. I like the press, as I said, for sauces or small bits. Otherwise, I just mince it by hand. So
By
that's
hand.
just me. Yeah.
You
But
get
it
into it
doesn't-
with your hands.
Yeah.
And in terms of the oils with your pan, those high, this is a very interesting and important concept, like high
Yes.
heat is safer for cooking, but
That's right.
there is cookware that doesn't off gas. I'm concerned about the off gassing in pans, so I know a little bit about that. I'm learning more, but
Yeah,
there's some pans that you don't even need any oil. So
that's
anyway,
right. That's right.
I
You don't need
appreciate,
any. Mhm.
yeah, I appreciate your concerns about that.
Good, thank you. Yeah, because you want to be mindful because because when I got into medicinal cooking, most of my clients are people dealing with, pain management, trying to get off pain pills. People like my little brother Lawrence, who was in so much pain and trying to beat that cancer, and he, finally ended up losing the battle. So I had a plethora of people with different ailments and conditions that I have to be mindful of. Not to mention our dietary needs. I mean, like it could be something as simple as, a gastrointestinal issue or diverticulitis. That's another challenge for people. So we're just playing with this, but that's what I like to keep in mind. I'm gonna let this do its thing, and I'm gonna take you back to the counter. Let's get the sauce ready. Are you ready? Yes, chef, we're ready. Let's do the sauce. Okay, here we go.
Yeah,
I have a quick question.
Yes.
What could be an alternative for the egg if you're vegan?
I would use just a non-egg product, or I would actually use a little bit of broth, okay? Because that is in the recipe, so you can omit the egg completely and get the moisture from some veggie broth. Because remember I showed you that and told you that I make mine, and I didn't use it because my protein was wet enough. My patties were wet enough, so I didn't need to do that. So just use broth. I think,
Thank you.
yeah, very much. Okay, here's a little bit of a non-dairy yogurt, okay? Oh my gosh, you guys, this always happens. Okay, so you saw how I put the patties right into the pan and I seasoned the flour. When you do this at home, before you put the patties in the pan, dredge them in your seasoned flour, okay? Deborah left it off today, but this is real TV. I'm not doing redos, and so sometimes we forget things. So put that in there for yourself, all righty? Now for the sauce, it's lime, it's yogurt, coconut. We're gonna use some of the flake coconut again, lime juice, and some sriracha, a little bit of some spice. Now, because this non-dairy yogurt is so thin and watery, if I put in too much lime juice, it's gonna be really, really drippy. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna add some zest. Okay, some lime zest. Get that in there.
Hey, chef, can you
Yes.
move your bowl closer to the camera? The camera's a little low, so
There, like
work
that
closer to
right
the camera
there.
or lift up. Yeah, that's great.
Is that better? Okay, actually, I can put this underneath here. I'm gonna head over here, right there, okay? And now I am gonna put a little, let me flip over those patties really quick, my friends. Right? And then we're just gonna squeeze in a little bit of the lime juice with our squeezer. Right? There you go. Oh my God, it smells so good over here. I wish you were here. Oh, smell good, smell good. Okay. A little bit of the sriracha. Okay. I like spice. If you don't like spice, you don't have to put any in at all. Okay, you don't have to. Alrighty. And then we're just gonna mix this together. All right. And taste. I didn't season this with salt, so I'm gonna taste it first and see. Very light. Okay. Oh man, it's good. But I want a pinch of salt. As we get older, we like more salt. And I always like to tell people, think of your taste buds, which are not just on your tongue, they're on the inside, the cheeks of your mouth, inside down your throat. And as you get older, they start to not function as well. When you're very young, your taste buds open like this, like think of them as a flower. They open this wide. In your 20s, open this. 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. This is how wide mine open. Salt opens the taste buds. That's why you see people in my demographic group do this with the salt shaker before they even tasted the food. So we want to be careful. Citrus will help also open the taste buds. So if you're trying to reduce your sodium intake, use lemon zest, lime zest, orange, grapefruit, or even the juice. And that will do the same thing and you won't have to use as much salt. Okay, this is ready. I want to pour this into a container so I can be fancy with it and show you something really cool. So I'm going to go right through the funnel into my squeeze bottle. You know, presentation. Yesterday I went after Diana and she was talking about, how we present, how we feel about ourselves and present ourselves. And I always try to tell people we eat with our eyes first. So presentation matters. Alrighty. So let's get this over here. Here I have a plate. All right. With a little bit of lemon and limes on there, just kind of set there. Let me go get those patties. Da 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 da. Make it pretty. And then we got this. And we'll go ahead and get our thing. Now I shall taste it. Should I taste it? Yes, Chef, we want
Yes,
you to taste
please. I wish I was there having
Yes, I
some.
want
I'm
some.
gonna put a little squeeze of my lemon because I like lemon. And again, that's gonna give me a little bit of a high note on there. Let me see.
Oh, that looks so good, Deborah.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Somebody here knows how to cook. Somebody named Deborah. It's really good. The smokiness from the cumin, a little bit of earthiness from our coriander. Of course, the sauce kicks it up a little bit. It's delicious. Before I go, because I'm watching my time, I did not talk about my website or how you can get a hold of me or see what I do. If you use Instagram, if you look up Cosmic Muffin Cafe on Instagram, you'll see a visual menu of what we offer. All the different things I use, I prepare, much of it infused with cannabis, THC, CBD, and a lot of it clean, as I say. So that's on Instagram. If you go to my website at www.cosmicmuffincafe.com, you will see a plethora of information. I have some short freebie videos. How I teach you how to do vinaigrettes, hummus. I don't know, I did a couple other things. They're maybe 15 to 20 minutes long. Those are really fun. But I also want to give you make an offer to you. On my website, you'll see I do monthly cook-alongs. And on Friday, October 30th, I'm doing a spook-along on that day. For $25, you can register for that, and I will provide you with the recipes and all the equipment that you'll need, so in a shopping list, and then you'll be ready to cook along with me, so you could do this, and I keep it limited to 20 people at the most, because I want to be able to see all the squares. On that particular day, that recipe will start off with drunken peanut butter cups, because I do like my adult beverages. And then from there, we're going to do a vanilla cider pork tenderloin. On the side, Autumn's green apple and spinach salad, and then also a walnut wild rice. So if that's something that you're curious about and you want some fun and interesting ways to utilize your food to not just make you happy and fill your tummy, but to also serve a function to offer remedies to your systems, to your body, then come to Cosmic Muffin Cafe and I can help you with that. Any questions? That's it.
No.
I think that's my, is that my time? I think that's my time, my friend.
You did a fabulous job, Deborah.
Okay,
Love
thank
it.
you. All right,
You're
all right,
beyond
friends.
perfect.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my
Just
gosh.
don't forget to
Let's-
dredge your patties in the flour like I forgot today.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Everybody come off mute and let's give Deb a huge round of applause. Wasn't that incredible? Oh my gosh.
Job, Deb.
Thank
Deb, you
you.
blew
Hungry.
me
Fun.
away.
Hungry.
Very fun.
Oh my gosh. Totally not. I mean, you impress me every single time I get a
Oh,
chance to
thank
watch
you.
you do this,
I've
but
I've
you
always
are
been like,
incredible.
oh,
I'm
thank you so
thrilled.
much. Really,
Now I want a second lunch.
yeah.
You. And I'll
I need
tell
a
you
snack.
guys,
Thank you.
because Deb is in our polka dot group over these last couple of years, I've had the opportunity to taste some of her things that she'll bring to a meeting or to a social that we might have. Oh my gosh, it's always so amazingly delicious. Like beyond, like clearly, like it's also obvious that there's a professional chef in the house, right? Like it's not just your typical potluck type of stuff. So I'm so here. I'm so glad that I got to be here watching you because you were amazing. Thank you so much, my friend. I miss you. Hopefully we get to, I know, big hugs. Thank you so much. All right, you guys, isn't that amazing? I love it. I'm super excited for our next speaker because this is someone who I just got a chance, and I love her energy and her ability to take a look at us as adults and how we can continue that childlike wonder and creativity. Angela Lee is going to talk about the building blocks to reclaim your wonder. And I'm super excited about it because I feel like this is one of those things that as we grow up, we kind of forget about the good parts about being kind of a silly kid. So Angela, I'm super excited to hear what you have for us today. If you're there, please take it away. There you are.
Hey, hello everyone. I do want to start off and kind of talk about how I got here, because I remember a point in my life where I looked at my life and I said, is that all there is? I had hit a wall. It was 2017 and I lost everything. My house, every component inside my house in the Tubbs wildfire. And basically I became untethered. I had to rebuild my life. I had to start from scratch, and I examined my life. I went into a dark night of the soul. And what I figured out through that period was that the life that I had been living was not the life that I wanted. And what I learned is life can be challenging. We all have challenges in our lives, but we learn from our challenges. And one of the things that I learned through all of those experiences is that childlike play and wonder are an integral part of life, and many adults miss out on that. We leave our childhood behind. We think, oh, I'm adult, I shouldn't behave that way. And the reality is that childhood curiosity, wonder, and playfulness, these building blocks, create a magical life. And your relationships get better, you're more efficient and effective at work. All of these things are fed through playfulness and curiosity. So we're going to do an activation. I'm actually a quantum energy shift facilitator, so I can move energy. And through this meditation, I'm going to be moving some energy. So I invite you to sit back in your chair, get comfortable. You can close your eyes or you can leave them open if you want. But just take this time for yourself. This is a gift to yourself. And take a deep breath. When you were a kid, your life was filled with magic. In your imagination, you could be or do anything. You played without rules. You let your imagination run free. With a towel or a blanket on your shoulders, you were a superhero, or maybe a swashbuckling pirate, or maybe a princess. Do you remember running free through the fields? Maybe alone or with friends. The feeling of freedom, the feeling of playfulness, the feelings overcoming you, and maybe you fall down, giggling. Did you chase butterflies or fireflies, marveling at their beauty when you caught one? Do you remember unstructured play? A tea party with your stuffed animals or dolls? Or riding your bike, feeling the freedom of being able to go wherever you wanted? Did you swing on a swing, feeling like you could touch the sky? Do you remember building with blocks or Legos? Why is it that we leave this magic behind us as we grow up? Most adult entertainment is very structured. We can play games and we can play sports, but there are rules we have to follow or we're doing it wrong. Have you spent time with a child under the age of 5 and marveled at the way they see the world? Young children will stop and crouch down, and they will watch a snail crossing the path, examining the trail. Children remember their magic, and they see magic in things we take for granted. Sometimes we allow ourselves to play with the children as if we need a 3 or 4 or 5-year-old to give us permission to be silly. As soon as the child leaves, we return to the jaded world of adultness. Playfulness is the highest expression of the human spirit, Matthew Paris was known to say. In my own spiritual practice, when I approach things with a sense of playful freedom, a feeling that I cannot do it wrong, that I'm just playing at it. I can actually go deeper into my spirituality. What do you think would happen if you allowed yourself unstructured play without the crutch of having a small child around? Would you be embarrassed to let your inner child out? To play on climbing structures? To swing on a swing? What if you gave yourself permission to run on the beach, not for exercise, but for the sheer joy of running barefoot on wet sand, feeling the warm sand squish between your toes? Your inner child is aching to be let out. Are you brave enough to play unstructured? If you are, you will be rewarded with a magical moment that takes you back to a time when you felt free. Breathe in for the count of 4. Hold for the count of 4. Breathe out for the count of 4. Hold for the count of 4. Notice there's a door in the side of your head. You open the door and enter. Breathe. Notice what the inside of your head feels like. Is it busy and cluttered? Or is it calm and peaceful? Or maybe something in between? Just notice and breathe. On the back wall of your head, there is a button. It is labeled Analyzer. You walk over there, push it, and turn it off. You tell your brain, thank you. I don't need you to analyze this. You can rest. And breathe. On the other wall is an elevator. You get in. It has only a few buttons. One is marked H. You push the H button and the elevator descends into your heart. Breathe. The doors open. Notice how your heart feels. Is it warm and comfortable? Does it feel tight? Does it feel spacious? Just notice. There's nothing to fix here. Breathe. This is your playground. This is your sanctuary. You get to make it what you want. If you want to imagine soaring windows looking out onto a magnificent sunset, just imagine them. You are creating a sanctuary within your heart. Breathe. This is a place where you can go to ask questions, to be in truth, to be in peace. It is also a place where you can access a virtual playground. Enter it at any time you need. Take a deep breath. And call your inner child. Did he or she come running? Or is he or she hiding? Breathe. If your inner child is hiding, go find him or her and coax him or her out. Tell them that you love them. You will always love them. Breathe. Greet your inner child with love. Hold hands. Hug them and kiss them. Social distancing is not required here. And breathe. Invite your inner child to tell you how they want to play. Listen to them. Agree to play with them. Be a child. Innocent. Filled with wonder. Curious about everything. Breathe. A door opens. And your own personal playground is revealed on the other side of the door. Maybe it's a fantasy land filled with fairies and dragons. Maybe it's a Western world where you can play cowboys and Indians. Maybe it's a playground in the best park ever. Or maybe it's a tea party with the Mad Hatter. This is your playground. Breathe. Simply by listening to this meditation, you have given yourself permission to play, just like your inner child. Take your inner child's hand and run through the door. It is safe here. Breathe. For the next few minutes, continue to breathe deeply while you imagine yourself in unstructured play, running freely, rolling down hills, skipping rope, swinging, riding a bike, jumping on a trampoline, playing with blocks, or playing with dolls. Your imagination, your wonder, and your curiosity are activated now. Unstructured play. There are no rules. No one gets hurt. This is pure joy. Maybe you will dance with a dragon. Or fly with a dragonfly. Maybe you will dive into a crystalline sea and swim with the whales. Maybe you will be in an airplane, soaring through the clouds, sinking into cotton candy fluff, letting it surround you and comfort you. This playground is yours to imagine. Breathe. Notice, is your inner child laughing, giggling, having fun? Are you being reminded of a time when life felt less complicated? Allow yourself to play for a few more minutes. You might even make it more fantastical. This is a safe space, and you can do what you want. Feel the joy. Feel the happiness. Feel the freedom. Breathe. Unstructured play. It is good for your heart. It is good for your soul. The time has come for you to take the hand of your inner child and return to your heart. Tell your child that you will return to play with them again. Tell them that they are safe in your heart, that there is nothing to fear. Tell them they can go out the door and play in the playground at any time they wish. Breathe. Give your inner child a goodbye hug or a kiss. Get up and go to the elevator. This time you press the B button and the elevator takes you back up to your brain. On the back wall, flip the analyzer switch back on and thank your brain for cooperating with your imagination. Exit the door on the side of your head. Breathe. Breathe in for the count of 4. Hold it for the count of 4. Breathe out for the count of 4. And hold it for the count of 4. Let's do it again. In, hold, out, hold. One more time. In, hold, out, hold. Return to normal breathing. And when you are ready, open your eyes. And if anybody wishes to comment or question, I'm available. Okay.
Angela in the chat, Ariel says, what a beautiful offering. She thought that was great.
Thank you.
She said, somebody else says, I can't see who that is, that it was so magical. I think that was the purpose. Yeah, yeah.
That is the
absolutely.
purpose, to unlock your own magic within. And that is one of the components of the 6-week course that I have built and will be releasing in November. So attendees today can purchase through the link in the chat the full course to connect you back to your childlike wonder and joy and playfulness. And I also included, because I am a author of children's fairy tales, and I do happen to have one that's just released on Amazon. So the Bella Santini Chronicles are created to help children be in touch with their magic and overcome the difficulties that we have in this world. So I thank you all for listening, and I think I can be done now.
Whew, well, I'm still kind of recovering only because that felt like such a deeply personal time. I really appreciate that, Angela. When we met last week and we were talking about the idea of helping adults get back to their childlike wonder, and you said you were going to do some of that through meditation, but I had no idea what to expect. And so having experienced this today, I really am like I feel like my unicorn heart is just exploding. I love it. I loved it so much. And I really want to thank you. I hope everyone, if you're there and can unmute, let's give Angela a huge round of applause. I know we're all kind of in this mellow place here, but let's make sure to appreciate Angela for what she just gave to us, because I do think it was a real gift. So thank you so much.
Aw,
I think I'm going to color more pictures tonight. I'm going to relax by coloring more pictures.
Yep. Yeah.
Beautiful.
So good. I love it. Those happy childhood, and even if we're not imagining something that actually happened, we can imagine what our inner child wants right now. And that also, sounds wonderful too. So love it. Thank you so much. Okay, everyone, we are moving on from the magical to another magical human who is going to talk not only that we are all kind of looking at the world from a holistic frame, but it's still a business. Yes? Jason Antelek is coming to us from Colorado. I had the pleasure of meeting him last week, and I found him to be super authentic, really positive. Like, I really felt like, I wish he was closer because we could be friends type of guy, and he's really got some great practical information and value to bring us to help us remember. I hope I'm coming through okay. I'm getting unstable internet. Am I okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sorry about that. You never know what the internet throw our way. So some really practical tips on not remembering that our business is here to serve, but also that if we need to stay in action and really make things happen in order for us to continue as a business. So Jason Antelek, please take it away.
Hi, everybody. Tracy, thank you for that amazing introduction. And I really appreciate what you and Tanya have done here, taking the time to get to know your speakers. And even if you haven't met them, taking an opportunity to kind of see what they're about and to have a point of reference for yourself. I think that shows the extra step that Tanya and her team are willing to take. So really thumbs up for that move. Thank you for that. As Tracy introduced and shared with you, my name is Jason Antelek. I am also known as Akashaman. I work with the Akashic Records and Shamanic Practices. And as you can see, I am also part of the Public Speakers Association. I acquired the Public Speakers Association in March of this year, and it's been an incredible ride, a lot of fun, a lot of opportunity to help speakers develop and get to that place where they want to be. And there's been a lot in my world that has gone into all of those things coming together to put me in the spaces that I am in now. And there are, for so many of us, a lot of components that make us who we are. And accepting and integrating those things is actually really important. It is about who you are and your beliefs and what got you here. That makes you the person you are right now. And I don't know about the rest of you, but if I try to be anything but that person, it just makes me tired. It is too much to remember. It is too much to try and do. and it just gets in the way of what you're really trying to accomplish. So being that authentic human, being a person of passion, if that's who you are, being a mellow, wise observer, if that's who you are, that it all fits, right? Maybe you're a straight shooter. Maybe you're somebody who really feels things. All of these things are beautiful. And that is who you are. Those are your gifts. And we've heard a lot of talk over this couple of days about gifts and the things that we have. And I want to help you understand what that means and how to leverage it. We have so many terms that get tossed around and thrown out there that we just assume that everybody kind of gets it. And I like to rewind that a couple of steps as often as possible so we can talk about what that means. So when we talk about holistic, first of all, that is the heart-centered, the metaphysical, the psychic, the herbal, the alternative. This is all of the stuff that doesn't qualify into traditional business sense, right? So there's like this category for us that we're coaches and maybe we use some type of meditation techniques, or we use self-improvement, or we have something that we've developed on our own that is different than what other people do. And it's not in the traditional corporate training model. And that is really what works, because I connect with so many people that used to be in corporate, myself included, okay? You used to be in corporate and then you made a change. And that happened for most people because you couldn't operate in that environment anymore. There's too much power struggle and there's too much PC. You can't be who you actually are. And the person that you become along the way, this authentic human you turn into as a result of all the things that you've done, takes you into a place that doesn't fit that corporate model. And corporate America is like a bunch of puppets. There are a lot of great people there. There's a lot of people that really shine, but there's always a line at which you bump into that says, okay, this is where you've got to act differently than what you're doing. And a lot of us find we're not comfortable with that. Again, myself included. About 5 years ago, I was working for Starbucks and I was the store manager for a drive-through. And if it was a drive-through cafe, it was a $2 million a year store. There's a lot of activity in a store like that. And as the store manager, the buck stops with you. And it was a lot of stress and things that I just didn't even realize I was processing, to be honest with you. I just went with it and did my best every day. On my way to work one morning, I got rear-ended and I came away with a concussion. And there's a couple of different types of concussions. There's the short version and there's the long version. There are some steps in between, but for our purposes today, I want to share with you that I had the long version. I had trouble tying my shoes, okay? It was a lot of readjustment. There were a lot of mood swings, migraines, confusion, lack of understanding. I had memory issues, short and long term. I was on a ton of medications. And as a recovering alcoholic, that was not a comfortable space to be in just by itself. Right? I'm concerned about narcotics, whether they come in from a doctor or not. So it was a very complicated time for me. And I did a lot of personal searching. And what I found when I tried to go back to work was the capabilities that I started out with did not look the same. I was not able to manage the stress. I couldn't think as quickly and make decisions the same way. I was very easily overwhelmed. I had a lot of emotions, which didn't allow me to manage the people in a way that kept everything productive. I lost that analytical part of me for a time. And all of these things started to combine to make being in that environment nearly impossible. So while I am trying to figure out what's next and what I'm going to do when I see myself struggling in this environment I was familiar with, I started looking for alternatives, different kinds of healing. I've always been interested in the metaphysical, whether it was crystals or energy or magic, any kind of astrology, just about any of the forms I have touched on at some point. And I found acupuncture, which worked really well for me. Reiki, energy, I had never experienced it myself. So that was something that I benefited from in my healing process. And then I found something that worked really for me, which is one of the major, in fact, the major focus of my personal practice, which is the Akashic Records. And we're not going down the spiritual road too far here, just enough to share with you that the Akashic Record for yourself is the journey of your soul. It is everything your soul has done in all of its energies, lifetimes, interactions. It's like a database of your soul's journey available in one place. And what I found was that working in that place and reading for other people became extremely rewarding. And it allowed me to be focused and be in this very specific energy that was healing me and helping me along. And I was learning and focused and had a memory again. I didn't have migraines. And so many positive things come out of it. And it happened over time. So about 4 months go by and I'm studying the records and I'm still trying to make corporate America work. And it became really obvious to me that those things I was going to have to forego being in that environment and being a store manager. I wanted to stay with Starbucks, but I had to accept that my role was going to have to be greatly reduced and that I was going to have some kind of transition, but I didn't know what that meant. Now, this word transition is one of those words that we hear all the time. And what I mean specifically for me in that situation is I didn't know it then, but what I was moving from was the corporate business world to the holistic business world. This doesn't happen in a day, and if it does, it's probably very abrupt and uncomfortable, because what do? You've got all this corporate mentality, and you know this way of doing things, and you answer to somebody. But when you're in a holistic situation, you've got a lot more to work with, a lot more opportunity. It's more open. There's a lot more channels. There's just a considerable amount of things to take into account. So this didn't happen for me immediately. It took some time for it to occur. One of the things that really helped me was through my study of the Akashic Records, I found out for myself what my gifts are. So here's another word that gets tossed around, right? What your divine gifts. Now, I'm a very practical, actionable person. I want things to make sense. I need to be able to apply it. And that's how I approached this spiritual journey that I was on, was I want to make sure that this is real. If I'm going to do this work or I'm going to help people, I want it to be impactful and useful. And that was really important to me. I had an experience earlier in my life about my 20s, my late 20s, or excuse me, late teens, early 20s, where a psychic that I waited on consistently every Sunday at a little diner in Houston, she asked me what I really wanted. And I said, I wanted to have love at first sight. And she said, oh, I hope that doesn't happen for you. And about 2 years later, it did happen. It was love at first sight. I couldn't believe it. It was this incredible well of emotions and connection. And I was so drawn and I couldn't help myself. And it turned out terrible. It was the most devastating negative relationship because it was just not healthy for me. And this love at first sight didn't give me any opportunity to check and adjust. I was so caught up in it that I didn't want to give up. I wanted to keep going and do it very blindly. So one of the things that stuck with for me is understanding when someone reads for someone else that you want to explain the why. you want to understand what the reasons are for things. You want to know what is the background of the advice. And that's where the practical aspect comes in for me. Now, the holistic version of this is that I continued to progress doing readings, and more people responded positively to what I was doing. The whole time I'm being very aware of the information that I'm delivering and keeping really tight notes and getting people's feedback and really trying to understand what I was doing and how I was helping people. And after a time, I realized, okay, I can charge for this. I feel comfortable. Now, we've all been in that place where we question our value. And this is one of the main points for you guys today that I want you to take away, is that there is immense value in what you do. If you are impacting people's lives in a positive way, then it has tremendous value. Sometimes it's a sentence, sometimes it's a reading, sometimes it's a 6-month period that you work with someone. Now, if we back up just a little bit, let's recognize too that all of your experience, everything you've studied, all the hours you've put in, all go into you being a solid, useful practitioner. So in your holistic business, you bring a lot of value. Maybe you don't have a degree. Maybe you don't have the letters after your name. It doesn't lessen your experience, which is sometimes even more valuable. And it doesn't lessen the time that you spent studying and applying yourself and taking what you're doing and making it your own. No one else can do that but you. As I was developing my process, I did the same thing we all often do when we're on a new venture, and especially those of us in the spiritual community, the metaphysical community, we do ooh shiny really well, right? Oh, let me study this, and then I'm gonna go study that, and then I'm gonna check out this thing. And I was all over the place, and I found several different things that interested me. And I kept coming back to the Akashic Records because that was what really provided the value to the people I connected with. The other things helped me understand additional tools that were available, but they also helped me understand what I didn't want to do. In your holistic business, you cannot help every person. It's just not humanly possible. There are 7 billion people on this planet, and you are not going to get to all of them. It's just a fact of physics. It's not possible. So while it is, this impact in the world and this desire that we have to really fulfill this purpose or mission or destiny, when you look at the big picture, what you have control over is your portion of that picture. You have control over what you do and how you make an impact with the people you encounter. There is the vision of being on the big stage or writing the best-selling book or having that, amazing masterclass that everybody is lining up for. And while those things are possible, every person that has those didn't get there in one shot. They didn't jump from, oh, I want a holistic business to, wham, I'm a success. An overnight success is just a term. It is the lightning strike. It is the 1 in a million or more. It's also not sustainable, right? So as you build what you're doing, that's what's sustainable. You build on what you've done before and moving into the next places. So let's rewind a little bit and look at your collective experience and think for yourself for a moment, what has gone into making you who you are now? It is your early childhood, it's your high school years, your first few relationships, raising kids, going to school. It is all of those things and many, many more that brought you where you are. I was a disc jockey for 20 years, had my own mobile DJ company. I spun records, records, CDs. I had dual tape monitors. I've done it all. I went digital. I had a blast being a DJ. and I was on a microphone all the time, somewhere doing something, everything from karaoke nights to big old festivals. Then I ended up in the corporate world and I learned a lot of business stuff. Then I got hit by a Cadillac and all of those things kind of like kind of leveled my playing field. So that brings us back to where am I going now that I've realized I'm not going to do well in corporate America anymore and that I'm changing. So I took a lesser role, which allowed me to work less, have a more flexible schedule, a lot less responsibility. I still got to use my skill sets that I had access to, but it gave me the freedom to do the other thing. It was a means to an end. So I started with this holistic side, recognizing my value. Now, I'm going to be really transparent with you guys, and it's almost embarrassing to say so, but I was doing like $60 readings. I would spend 45 minutes preparing for a reading, and then it would be like 2 hours to do the reading because I was new. And when you're new, you don't have the experience and the condensed value to offer. And we have this catch-22 of what are we going to charge? How are we going to get to a point where we can actually charge what we're worth? In the service industry, we have a tendency to undercut that, to shoot below the number. I could have very easily started at 100 looking back. So I would challenge you to look at what your pricing is and does it really match the value of where you are right now? You're not broken. You didn't mess up. You didn't miss the boat. You just have an opportunity to look at, okay, where am I and could this be better for me? Factor in how much time you've spent on your craft, how much money you've spent studying it, your supplies, how many readings you've done, how many different classes or workshops you've spent the weekend at. All of these things go into that. Even stuff that you didn't apply still counts because you picked up something from it. So when you look back at that, see that as a body of work for yourself and take the time to recognize that value. That value goes into where you are at this moment. It's collectivied, there's a new word, with all of the other experience woven together to make you who you are today. You're on your path, you're on your mission, you're on your spiritual growth, whatever it is that you label it as, you're there. You're awake, you're breathing, you're present in this moment, you're on your path. So let that go, give yourself some room there, because trying to figure out purpose and mission and path is something that we really only have to do for a space in time. Because once we figure out what that is, we do it. For me, it was recognizing the transition and that there would be a time at which my holistic business would grow and I wouldn't have to do the corporate thing anymore. So a little at a time, I realized that I was in two separate places. And it took me a very long time to realize that they weren't actually separate. The more that I did readings and connected with people with the information, the more I found that I was living it all the time. That's what passion means, right? We live it. We can't wait to get to it. We can't wait to share it with somebody. When the subject comes up, we're like, oh, I want to talk about it, right? That's the thing that gets you charged, that gets you going. And I couldn't stop doing that all the time. I was always wondering about people and their information and were they interested in spiritual stuff. And let me tell you, they are everywhere. People with metaphysical interests are everywhere. They're at the top of the corporate ladder. They are down the street from you. They are in the line dropping their kids off 2 cars back. They are everywhere. You see them in the grocery store. It is a beautiful thing to remember because you just never know who you're talking to. There came several points in my journey that I thought I had to make a decision, that I have to do one or the other. How am I going to manage both of these? Because then I have to be this thing over here and that thing over there. Well, I got news for you, folks. You are the common denominator. You are what brings that all together. You matter, you have value, and it's all you. You can see this Public Speakers Association right here. That is something that I do, but I also have this background for Akashamon, because that's also what I do. Now, depending on the setting, yeah, I'll change that up sometimes, because sometimes I'm talking to speakers and sometimes I'm talking to spiritual folks. But the reality is, it's always me. And I'm always delivering the same thing, just on different subjects. And for me, that bottom line is my energy. It's that enthusiasm, that passion, that desire to share and to spread knowledge and to help people recognize that their authenticity is one of their greatest assets. When you can accept the common denominator, it becomes much easier for you to just be you. It's all right that you have skill sets and you do different things. Crocheting is not the same as making pasta. It probably has similarities, but they're very different situations. So allowing yourself to be in that difference is very important. As I grew in the holistic aspect of what I was doing, I got more and more readings, and I started to find out that it was getting a little bit tricky to schedule those readings and still go to work. That's a clear sign that this transition is really occurring. I got more comfortable charging a little bit more. And eventually I recognized what I needed to do next and built myself a plan, an idea of where I was headed. People operate differently around goal setting. Some people are very focused on the goal, and they have to keep that in mind to be able to keep heading that direction. And it's almost like they need it on their vision board, right? But there's other people that they can set the goal, but what really matters to them is the steps. They need to take the steps that get them there. So they really focus on the process. Now, I'm very outcome oriented. So what I always told myself was, here's the life that I want. Here's where I want to be. But I still have to take those steps to get me there, right? So I kind of reverse engineered the process. I reached out to my mentor and asked her, this is what I want to do. I'm not sure what to do next. There is nothing better in your life than people that know more about what you do or where you're headed than you do. Experts, mentors, people that you can tap into and ask questions. There is no greater resource. Because when I asked my mentor, what do I do next? She said, well, what is your energy? What gifts are you operating with? And thanks to my work in the Akashic Records, I knew what that was. So I am a communicator. I'm all about knowledge and sharing knowledge, authenticity, and teaching. So she told me, you need to share your story. You've got self-expression that needs to come out. So I started a meetup. I invited some people. I shared my story. I started connecting. I started building a network and a list, and it just took off from there. It got bigger and bigger. Then I recognized that I wanted to do events. I wanted to be places and meet with people and do one-on-one interaction and readings, because that's what I saw some people having success. So maybe I'll try it. What that really led me to was right back to those speaking events. It took me right back into the same place that I started with that meetup and expressing what I do and how passionate I am about the work that I'm in. And as I built that up and got more focused on what I do and focused on the Akashic Records instead of trying to do angelic work and Reiki and crystals and all the other crazy things that I had studied over those several years that I was building, I recognized that being focused and being very proficient in one area is what makes you truly valuable. Trying to serve the many isn't going to work. Any room you go into, there's a 25, 50, 25 going on. And what I mean is 25% of the people don't care about what you're saying. They don't like your shirt. They just think you have a funny voice. 50% are in that rock and roll on the fence kind of situation. 25% are right there with you. That 25% is your audience. Those are your people. Those are the folks to focus on. That's who you're talking to. And be okay with the 25. If you're in a room of 100 people, that's 25 of your people. That is a great number. And it's very accessible to work with those folks. You can't do 7 billion. If the 100 people all mobbed you at once, you wouldn't be able to get all their information. You can manage 25 or the 10 or the 5 that are really the folks that are your target market. It's about the value and the quality of what you do. We put ourselves in the holistic community in a service-oriented kind of situation. I've got these gifts and I want to be sure that I'm making an impact in the world, so I don't feel comfortable charging. Okay, you still got to eat. It costs money to get your clothes to look nice for the event. Pens cost money. Printing up your sign-in sheets costs money and time. You've got resources and you've got bills just like everybody else. You've put in the time and the effort to learn. So know your value. I challenge you that right now, whatever you're charging is probably half of what you're actually worth. And you might see that number and it makes you a little uncomfortable. I got news for you. That is the perfect place to be. It should make you a little uncomfortable. So I challenge you to go and look at what are you charging for an hour's worth of work. Look at what other people are charging, experts in the field. If you decide that you're going to be charging by the hour for what you do, what is the going rate in your area? What does an electrician get paid? What does a plumber get paid? What do these folks do that no one else can do? They're very specialized and they get anywhere from $180 to $400 an hour, depending on who they are. So why shouldn't you? You're specialized, you're focused, you've got bills, you've got an education of some sort that you've put time and effort into, you have value. So take a look at where that is for you and the bigger picture and bring those pieces together and see if what you're charging really is what you're delivering. I will tell you that as soon as I moved into that, I got more clients, I had much better return on my investments, and I delivered a better product because I was much more satisfied. It meant more to me, and I worked harder to be a better, valuable reader and presenter because I knew that I was living my value. And that makes a huge difference. And it will spill over into all areas of your life. When you recognize your value as a holistic practitioner, then you're going to see your value in other areas as well. And it will spill over and make your life better. Now, in a business, there's a ton of things we don't know. Okay, I don't know how to do Facebook ads. I've tried it. I'm terrible at it. You got to know what to put out to somebody else, where to ask for help, what to do. And then we've got this catch-22 of the resources versus I can't spend this money because I don't know who to spend it on. I don't know what to do. This is about your network, the people that you know. Look around at the list. Look around at the speakers that you have right here in front of you. There are people here right now that if I have a question, I reach out to. And I trust them. I got a question about events. I'm going to go talk to Miss Tanya Tyus Parker because she's probably done it. And even if she's like, I don't know, she's going to be able to tell me something that didn't work. If I need to know about a network and memberships and how to run that, Denise O'Malley is right there. I want to form a gigantic list and figure out how I put that together and deliver it in a really powerful way to help people. Jackie Lappin is the person I'm going to talk to. These are all people that I like, know, and trust, but it's because over the years, I've built those relationships and been very authentic and led with that value. What can we do that helps each other? And when you reach out to people, you'd be surprised how quickly they'll say yes. And that's the beauty of the network. You never know who you're talking to. You never know who's in your audience. They might have a podcast. They might have some kind of show. They could just be someone who knows someone. But that's how things happen. So always leading with that value and recognizing that for yourself is the first step. It doesn't mean that you have to give yourself away. But every conversation that you have, every opportunity like this one that you have, bring people the value and let them know that they are worthy and that you appreciate what they have to offer, no matter what that is, because I can assure you they do too. As my business grew and I followed my own energy, I found out that there were a lot of things I wanted to do and I had some goals. And let me tell you, 2019 was a breakout year for me. I did over 25 events out of my home state of Colorado. I traveled to England and spoke and taught there over a couple of different weeks. I also got to go on a cruise and do a workshop on a cruise ship and do my work there that allowed me to honestly get the cruise for free. I was on the cruise for a week and I worked a total of 32 hours of that week, which is pretty much what you normally work. Actually, that's probably a short week for entrepreneurs, but I'm on a cruise ship. Cool, in the Caribbean. That's a great place to have your office for a week. The reason that I recognized those areas were accessible to me was because I recognized that I had value to offer. I had something to deliver. You've still got a business to run. Know what your value is. Know what your strengths are. I've got about 10 minutes left here, and I want to share with you what I'm talking about, knowing what your strengths are. So I would like to do a quick read for somebody. It's just going to be a couple of minutes. What I'm looking at is your energy. Where I had my energy of being working with self-expression and authenticity, I want to read for somebody that has maybe the same, but most likely a different type of energy, and help you understand how that weaves into your life and what it means for your business and how incredibly accessible that information is. Now, I'm not trying to convince you that an Akashic record reading is for you here. Maybe it is. Past lives are fun. This is about you and your business. And your energy is your business. Who you are is what your business is going to be. So if somebody is willing to give me permission, you can pop it in the chat or you can unmute yourself. We're only going to have time to do one here because I don't want to go over, of course. So Ariel raised her hand. So am I saying that right? And can you unmute yourself?
You're saying it correct.
Oh, good, good. And are you on video or no?
I
Oh,
am.
there she is. Hi, how's it going?
Hi.
Great presentation, by the way.
Thank you.
I love your energy.
Thank you.
So let's find out what it is. Do I have your permission to access your records and look at that?
Ooh, I love it. Yes.
Okay. So will you say your first and last name for me, please?
Ariel Asher.
All right. So what you're working with, Ariel, is what I refer to as divine power. This is not an egoic thing. This is an understanding that you create your reality through your choices and taking responsibility and accountability for that. It makes you a master manifester, which I'm sure you're probably aware of.
Kind of, yeah.
It also means that logic would say, if you're a master manifester, that means you're an action taker. You're a person who's willing to do the thing. So very much the entrepreneur mind, because you don't need supervision. You will take the action and do what needs to be done to get there. Accurate?
Yes.
Good, good. So I do this a lot, I know, but if we step back, rewind just a little bit, one of your greatest spaces is sifting through options. When we have options, it can be really overwhelming if we have too many. And that puts you in a place of inaction. And that's not really in your nature because you're an action person. When you have multiple options, you are probably a person that takes the time to think it through, to actually go down the road and see what it is that could happen when you go that direction. While you're thinking that through, what you're doing is slimming down, okay, what action am I going to take? Because you know, as a master manifester, when you take action in a third dimensional reality, it occurs. And it's probably going to happen really fast. So rather than just create this crazy upheaval, you're going to take some time and make sure you're making the right choice. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Does that sound, is that relative to your experience?
Yeah.
Awesome. So a couple of words to consider for you are security and freedom. These are going to be powerful words that are intertwined in your character, most likely, and they are intensely involved in how you manifest. 3 things to remember in manifestation. It's got to be what you want for it to happen easily. For you personally, it really has to be it has to support your security, and it has to provide you with freedom. If you can hit those 3 things in your choices, things are going to happen really fast and with ease. It's the same in your business. If what you're doing in business allows you freedom to make your own schedule or decide who you work with, it gives you security that you've got good money coming in. And if I need more of this, or I want to take this vacation, then I develop a new program and I get it out there, and there we go, right? And it looks like from the outside that everything you touch turns to gold. But really what you and I know is that there are hundreds of choices made along the way, and checking and adjusting. The beauty of your energy is that you can do it very quickly. So it looks like it's seamless, but it's not. We drop the ball, we kick it around, it goes all over the place. We're like, oh, what did I do? But making those adjustments and learning from them is one of the greatest assets that you have, because you can do it so quickly and move forward with and not get hung up on, well, that didn't work. So what did I learn, and what can I do better next? Right? Make sense?
Yeah.
And that matches your experience pretty well?
It does. I'd like to ask you the question, Jason, about these 2 words, which may on the surface seem juxtaposed, of security and freedom. Can you speak to that, please?
When you're dealing with options, that's freedom. Security is the foundation from which you manifest. If you want to have freedom to travel the world, you got to have a bank account that supports that. The bank account is the freedom. The travel, or the bank account, is the security. The travel is
I see.
And that's going to be true in some version for you in every aspect of your life.
Indeed.
One thing that I can tell you as we close up this piece here is that once you figure out your manifesting process, what works for you, Ariel, it will work in every area. Once you figure that out, you can cookie cutter it and apply it to everything. Relationships, personal life, it doesn't matter what it is. It will all work. So thank you for being open to that. You're welcome. Thank you. It's a fun energy you have there. There's a lot more to know. It's just a cornerstone of how your energy and your business really intertwine. And if you live those things, if you live that authenticity yourself, then you have the opportunity to really get involved and stay in it and create what is absolutely sustainable. So that means different things for different folks, and everybody operates with their own mix of energy. So the offer that I have for you guys today is an opportunity to experience the same kind of understanding for yourself and how it applies to your business. So knowing that lets you see for yourself, what are my abilities? What do I have that I'm really good at? And then how do I leverage that? Now, I don't just walk you through, here you go, here's your list, good luck. Again, leveraging that is one of those words. I actually give you practical ways to apply that in what you do. One of the things in this consultation, which is normally $197, but for you guys is only $97. And it's all about your energy is your business. We're going to look at your energy and where you're coming from and what gifts you're working with. We're going to see and talk about how that relates to your business and what that influence is. We also look at what areas are in alignment for you. We break business down into certain components and get a read on what where that is right now at this moment. So it's about your sales, your marketing, your clients, your contributors, yourself. What's in alignment with what I'm trying to do? You also want to know what areas are not in alignment, which means if you do these specific things, if you pay attention in this area with this understanding of who you are, you can create impactful, efficient time to grow your business in that space in a way that actually works your way. We can't do the guru thing, folks. There's 8 different kinds of energy, and you have a 1 in 8 chance of matching the guru. So sometimes it's going to work, but for most of us, only part of it's going to be applicable. The whole thing's not going to work. So it's important to understand what that means for you specifically. When you sign up for this, there's a quick form there. We're going to get some information, and you're going to get a form on some things to think about, because your intention in your business is one of the most important things. Where do you want to be in the next 6 months to a year? So be in a place of understanding that you're going to do some work in this, but you're going to come away with information that is direct and impactful that you can put into a working plan immediately. And it will augment what you're already doing. We're not going to try and revamp everything, because you've already created value. You've already created a lot of things that are going very well. Even if you're just starting, you've got something. But you got to get paid, folks. You got to understand how you're going to get paid. Because if you want to continue to live your passion, plane tickets cost money, gas costs money, lunches are not free. They are sometimes, that's very nice, but that's just not the norm. We got to pay our way. So your energy and your business can lead you to that opportunity. You can find me at akashaman.com. My email is there in the chat too, info@akashaman.com. I will also plug in another link there. This offer is special for the folks that are here for the California Speakers Showcase. So I want to say thank you for your attention. Thank you, Ariel, for being willing to allow me to read for you and for other people to connect and hear that. I hope that you guys will take an opportunity to look at your value and recognize what that is and continue to make that amazing impact in the world that you know makes you happy and fulfills you. Thank you so much, Tanya and Tracy. Appreciate everything.
Sorry, let's all give Jason a big round of applause. Sorry about that. Jason, that was so great. Here's my one-handed clap here. It's all I can do.
Thank you. Thank you.
So fantastic. You know, you finished up with one of the big highlights for me, which was to really sit down and take a look at the value. Like, what am I charging? Where does that come from? And what's really accurate and true? And am I shortchanging things because out of fear or whatever? And also the other thing that I really loved was reminding us that we're always us, even if we're talking about different subjects, even if we're talking to our family versus in business versus other relationships, we're always still us. And that base is, you know, always where we're coming from. My energy is my business, and whatever energy I bring to that is really gonna be, it's me. And so that's so true for all of us. I loved it so much. Thank you so much for being here today. Congratulations on a wonderful, wonderful speech. And you guys definitely check out his offer for that consultation. We just saw him work, you know, for what, 2 minutes with Ariel. I can't imagine what 45 minutes could uncover. So that would be really great. Thanks, Jason. All right.
Thank you, Jason, so much.
Excellent. Okay, we are, believe it or not, about to introduce our final speaker of the day. How is this possible? It's already 3:30. I also don't know how that's possible. But anyway, I'm thrilled to announce, what's that? No? Okay. I'm thrilled to announce Gail Willingham Thornton. Gail and I had a chance to connect, I think it was last week or the week before, briefly, and I really got to understand a little bit more about her, having her experience of more than 30 years of leadership experience prior to starting her okay, maybe I can feel it's toward the end of the day now. Consulting and training business, not consultation, but consulting. She worked for Kaiser, Permanente, and Dignity Health in various leadership roles, and Gail now uses her professional and personal experiences to coach, teach, and advise other people how to achieve excellence in leader development or improve relationships, whether they're personal or professional. And we all know how our personal life and our professional life tend to blend. So Gail brings some really great value to us today for this. Her topic is team management for effective results. When I heard the topic, I was just like, this is the topic for me. So can't wait to hear what you have to bring to us. Gail, take it away.
Okay, thank you, Tracy, for that beautiful introduction. And thank you for the opportunity to speak today. Let's see here. I am so excited to be talking to you guys. I know they saved the best for last. So that's what I'm going to try to do, is fulfill that best for last role. And I do want to share my screen with you all because I do have a PowerPoint. Let's see. Share screen. Can you guys see that? You can see it?
Yes.
Okay.
If you could put it on presentation mode, it would be a little bit bigger.
Okay. So go to slideshow.
There you go.
Okay. All right. So I wanted to talk a little bit today about managing your teams for effective results. So you may say, why am I talking about managing teams and you're not really managing a team? But if you are doing any kind of mentoring or any kind of coaching, you have a team. If you have a team of 1 or 2, if it's just you and your bookkeeper, you have a team. So this presentation is not just for the business world. It could be for if you're a church leader, if you have your own business, or you work for an organization. So I kind of structured it where it would make sense to people in any kind of role that has a team. So if you look at this little picture in the corner where it say meet the amazing team, so that team is what we want. Look at all those different people, different shapes, but they're all close together and they're all working together. Even though they have different objectives, they all are a team, right? They're all sticking together and working together. So we looked at those people and we say, oh, I want that amazing team. How do I get that team? But you got to know, why is it so important to have effective team members before you can even get that amazing team? So when you look at why do we need effective team members, is because teams are the foundation of successful businesses, successful groups, or successful organizations. Teams also build the framework to help improve the quality of work. They help to facilitate change, and they also increase productivity. So when you have those effective teams, you can get those 3 things out of them: improve quality of work, they facilitate completion of projects, and they increase productivity. Also, when you have effective team members, they are more loyal to you. They work harder for you. They support you in a much different fashion than the ones who are not effective team members. All right, so if you take a look at this picture, and I know it looks really cartoonish, but it kind of really honed in what I wanted to talk about. Because if you look at the side where you have the two women playing tic-tac-toe, one really not even paying attention to the other person, then you have those people over on the side who are playing chess, floor model chess. They aren't even together. They don't know what one don't know what the other one is doing. There's no team leader. There's a lack of cohesiveness. Those are all things that you don't want. And those are all things that happens in teams that will not allow you to grow your team. So a little bit about myself. I kind of inherited a team like this before. I took on a new managerial job, and I was brought on, and my team was just like this. They were all doing what they wanted to do. Everybody had their own agenda in mind. The leadership, there was no leadership there in that team for over a year. So they had no structure, they had no focus, there was no engagement. And the main focus that they did have, though, was how much money they could make. So there was a lot of overtime going on. There was a lot of not being productive. It was just a mess when I got there. So I quickly learned that there was a lot that needed to be changed within my team. And I observed this team for a little while. And when I was observing them, I was really looking for the good and the bad. I wanted to identify the key habits that they had formed, whether they were good or whether they were bad. Because even though they had some habits, some of them may have been good that we could have built up on. And so that was my idea for really trying to observe the team. And that's one thing you don't want to ever, when you absorb or you inherit a team, you don't want to ever go in fast forward, making changes right away. You want to observe and you want to check out the scene and see what's really happening. So I kind of got away from, you heard that saying, oh, I have an open door policy, and managers always say that. I got away from that open door policy and I went to the walk the floor policy. So instead of open doors sitting in my office waiting for them to come to me, I went out there to them. I started making my rounds. I was observing the unit. Also, it allowed me at that time to identify any issues that I could address right away. Instead of waiting for them to bring the issues to me, I could address those issues right away. So then I started to think about, okay, I've observed some bad habits, some good habits. How do I address these habits? So I wanted to start building relationships with them. That was my next goal. I needed them to trust me, right? So I started scheduling one-on-ones with my immediate direct reports. And then we started fellowshipping outside of work. Some people don't believe in fellowshipping with their team outside of work, but believe me or not, that's kind of how you get to know your team. They get to know you, your team members, they get to know you as a person, and you get to know them as a person as well. So I did not want to be like a manager that I had known in the past. And that manager was, she was a manager in name only. She never knew her staff. I was the direct supervisor for the night shift. She would often come to me and say, oh, I know that person works for me, but what is that person's name? That is just not a good manager. I really strive to know my individual team members. I had 110 employees and I knew each one of them names. And that was a goal for me. So at that time, then I started having regular meetings with my team. And each time I had a meeting with the team, I allowed them to brainstorm. We talked about the goals. We talked about what we identified that needed to be replaced or changed in the unit. And I started placing people in positions that they would thrive in. Not you do this and you do that, but I allowed them to grow and to figure out what their strong points were. So then I empowered those team members and I made them accountable, because with accountability comes empowerment. So I brought those team members together. We would have regular accountability meetings, and we looked at their processes and their progress. So if they were not progressing or their process was not working, we developed a plan together to try to identify what was not working and to change those things. So and then also I looked at what one of the main deficiencies was attendance. So I created a rewards and recognition program for them so they could be valued and they know that we value you, we need you at work. And so once I showed them that I cared and I valued them, as Jason said, they were valuable members. And that's when the communication changed. That's when engagement became more focused, productivity went up, overtime went down. The overall performance of the team changed. So when you are looking at developing your team and you want to have an effective team and you want to have effective results, you have to be present and you have to know who your people are and what you're doing. So as I looked at that, I looked at the game of chess, and I'm going to make a disclaimer here. I am not a chess player, but I do like the strategy of chess. So I looked at when you are managing and you are in a place where you really want to get your team to become effective and you want to get results from your team, I looked at the game of chess and I said, you know what? This game really, really brings out the best in the game. So I looked at the game of chess because it was very strategic. And also there's a highest playing rank called Grandmaster. The Grandmaster is the honor to be a Grandmaster because you know everything. You have perfected the game. And that's where we should strive as leaders to become a Grandmaster in leadership. I like when Ariel said her word for the year for 2020 was leadership, because my word for 2020 is teamwork. And so as I looked at teamwork, I looked at how people play chess. So they play it with a core strategy in mind. So as leaders, we have to use that same strategy like the Grandmaster. We have to have foresight. We have to have patience. We have to have the ability to get into the team members' minds, and most of all, use the right tactics to bring your team together. So as I was looking at the game of chess, and I said, oh, well, how do they really, really play chess? Because all I can see is people moving, and I see the strategies going when you observe a game of chess. So I looked up the instructions on how do they play chess. So the first thing they do, and many of the instructions of how to play the game of chess are the same kind of strategies or tactics you want to use in building an effective team. So when I looked up the first thing they told us to do was to set up the chessboard. So as a team leader and you want to build an effective team, the first thing you're going to do is set up your team. You're going to put the right people in the right places, right? And then you want to know when it's time to change team members, because you may have the team players in the right place for that time and for that season, but it may be time to change. So you have to be able to identify that as a team leader when you're building an effective team. Now, also some of the next instruction that they told us to do when I looked at how to play the game of chess, it was to learn how to move the pieces. So they stressed on there's 6 different pieces and they all move differently. So when you are building your team to be effective, you want to embrace differences. You want to value everyone's opinion, and you want to value their experience and their approach, because all are different. So that's a strategy that they use that is similar to leading. Then I went to, it said, discover the special rules in chess. So there's special rules in leadership too that we sometimes overlook. The special rules that they set up in chess is really so to make the game fun, and also to cover up some of the things that other people do. So when we're building our team, we want to make it fun, and we want to also make it where team members are responsible for the other team members' actions. So if somebody falling short, we want to be able to have our team so strategically mined that they can pick that up and build up that other team member. You want to make sure that they work together and that they're flexible. They're able to know the balance between structure and the balance between structure and flexibility. So all the team players have to be on that level. The next instruction they said was to learn how to make the first move, right? So they say all the players with the white pieces always move first. So as team leaders, when we're building effective teams, we want to know the ability of all our team players. We want to know how to identify their tasks, identify what their skills are. We want to be able to communicate, not just communicate sometime, but communicate often. Make sure, again, that open door policy is okay, but it's better to have that open floor policy. I know with the virtual world right now, it's kind of difficult to be face-to-face with that person, but set up those one-to-ones on Zoom. Do Facebook Live, create a group for your team. Whatever you have to do to make the team all feel that they are valuable and that you are listening to what they have to say. All right, so the next rule they said was to check out all the rules on the game on how to win. So we should, all chess players know what the rules are. They know how to win, and they know that there's different ways that they can win the game. They can win the game by checkmate, they can win the game with a draw. They can win the game by resignation, or they can win the game by forfeit of a time. So when you are strategizing and building your team to be effective, that's what you need to do. All the team members need to know the common end goal. What is the goal? They need to have clear objectives. They need to be able to meet those objectives. Don't overwhelm your team members. Don't give them too much to do. Know what they are capable of doing. And then they said we should the four simple things that they said that we should do is have a plan. Always communicate your plan to your team. So you got to have the plan, and you got to be able to communicate the plan to the team as well. Don't just throw anything to your team. Don't meet with them and say, oh yeah, let's do this, let's do that, let's do this, let's do that. No, have a plan when you meet with your team. Be strategic with the plan and communicate the plan. Communicate the plan often. As often as you can, communicate your plan. Every time you bring your team together or every time you meet with them one-on-one, you want to communicate that plan to your team. Then they said the next step was to protect the team. And that's your job too when you're building your team. You want to protect your team. You want to diminish any distractions that they may have. You want to foster and develop all team members and allow them to grow. They need to also know if you have any core values for your team, for your group, for your organization. They need to be able to build up on those core values and be able to grow within that organization. And I like this one where it say, don't give pieces away. So when they plan a chess game, every piece is used. They don't try to give any piece away. So when we're building up our team, we need to utilize every team member and don't just give them little bitty inky little things to do just because they're part of your team. Give them substantial things to do that they can hold on to and that they can speak to. Then it says control the center of the board, right? So, and the idea behind controlling the center of the board is so that you have more room to work and more room to move in. So this will allow you as a leader, when you are building your team, is to know every person's limitations. So as well as collaborate with all team members. So when you know their limitations, you know that they're not able to do certain things. You don't give them those type of duties to do or those type of tasks to do. Now, the last thing they told you to do when you're learning to play chess is to practice. Take control of the board, and don't let anybody take control of you. So again, if you are building up and you want an effective team, you have to practice. That means bring your team together. You have to share your vision. You have to build that trust and that respect. And you have to not be afraid to use the tactics that you have gotten from your group. So you want to be able to share those tactics with your group so that they can be able to share what they feel also with you. Now, don't be afraid to execute those tactics as well. Sometimes we gather all this information up and we don't even utilize it. So as a good team leader and trying to build an effective team, don't be afraid to execute and use those tactics. So I want to make sure you guys know that, again, I made a disclaimer. I am not an expert chess player, but many of the strategies that they use to play chess are the same strategies that we use to manage and build up our teams. So when you're building up your team, you yourself have to be a great leader. And if you're trying to show your team that you're a leader, a person who has command over the group or the organization or the team, you have to have some good qualities. Like you have to be enthused, have to not be enthused about short-term fixes. So when you meet with your team, you're not saying, oh, let's just do this and right now fix it and that's it. No, you need to be looking at the next step. What's the future? How are we going to build this up? You cannot be threatened by potential. So if you got employees who are smarter than you or employees who have great potential, you cannot be threatened by that if you're a great leader. You utilize that. You need to be able to inspire your team and you need to be able to give them recognition. In this little corner over here, there are many attributes of great team leaders, which I have encountered some as I've been in leadership for 30 years. And I have encountered some managers and directors with some of these attributes, but I have never encountered one with all of these attributes. So, but honesty and integrity and decision-making capabilities, those are your strong points that you want to focus in on. Definitely, you have to have accountability. You have to be confident. You have to be able to inspire others. You have to have empathy and you need to empower your team. You need to be able to delegate, but you do want to also be able to have good decision-making capabilities. So, because when you talk about decision-making capabilities, you want to know that every decision you make as a leader has impact upon that whole team. And so you want to stress to your team, it's not always about win or lose, but it's how we play the game. So we have to strategize on playing the game of leadership or playing the game of team building to have an effective team. So when I look at every decision that I make, this is how I look at making my decisions. I take these steps. I first try to identify what the goal is for the team. Then I weigh all my options and I brainstorm with my team. And I consider, are there any consequences to the different objectives that we are going to have? Are there any alternatives that we can do? And then after we come to a conclusion as a team, I make the decision of what we're going to do. The last thing I do is I take action and I move forward with my decision. So you cannot be afraid to move forward with your decision if you are an effective team member and you want an effective team. So when we talk about managing an effective team and having good results, it's all about bringing your team together because the outcome is what we're looking for. That little saying say, it's amazing what we can accomplish when we're in it together. And the word team, everybody always say there's no I in team, and there is no I in team. The word team means that we're all together. When you are building up your team, you're motivating people. You are communicating with people. You are bringing that collaboration to the board, and you have a set goal in mind. You also are able to sustain that team, because you don't want to have to retrain someone every 6 months or every 2 months. You want to be able to sustain that leadership ability that you have and that respect that they have developed with you, so that they can become more productive as a team member. And so that's the end of my kind of presentation about building an effective team. But I do we have some breakout sessions that we're going to do. And there are 3 questions around the breakout section. It says, number 1 is, what is the most significant thing you have learned or relearned from today's presentation, whether it's my presentation or someone else's presentation from the whole day today? The other thing is, number 2 is, what analogy did I use and why did I use that analogy? Number 3 is, what is one thing you will change as a result of this presentation or this day of presentations from many, many different people? So pick one. You don't have to answer all 3. Just pick one, discuss it, and then we'll come back and we'll share. All right. So we ready for breakout rooms?
So I'm getting everybody together for you. I'm almost there, Gail.
All right. So let your inner child, as we just noticed, let your inner child work today. Give yourself permission to answer these questions. Give yourself permission to allow today's presentations to work within your heart and work within your mind. Use these different strategies to improve your business techniques. So again, pick only one. You don't have to pick them all, and then we'll come back and we'll share.
All right, so we have, there's going to be about 2 people, so you have enough to share with one other person. So we'll have enough for about 3 minutes. You'll be in there for a total of 4 minutes, just to really quickly go ahead and answer your questions.
Go ahead, Gail, you're up.
Okay. Everyone's back. Thank you. I hope you all got something out of today's. I know it's been a long day. So would anybody care to share? No one wants to share? All right.
Well, I want to say, you told us 30 years, but you didn't tell us what you did for those 30 years.
Okay. So for 30 years, I worked in various leadership positions as a nurse leader. And I worked for Kaiser Permanente for 30 years, and I've worked for Dignity Health now for 5 years, and all in leadership roles. I started off as a new nurse, and 1 year after I graduated from nursing school, they offered me a leadership position. So I've been kind of in leadership since conception of being a nurse, I'd say.
Awesome.
So tell us about your workshop coming up.
All right, so since we have no one wants to share, we'll go straight to the workshop. I have created this virtual leadership workshop called Changing the Game Plan, because we were just talking about building your team and how to have an effective team, but sometimes it's time to change the plan. Sometimes you're on a even plane and you're just kind of functioning in where you are, and you are just sitting there. But sometimes it's time to change the game plan. And if you're interested in really wanting to learn how to change the game plan and to develop strategies around changing the plan for your team, join me for this workshop on November the 14th, and you can go to Eventbrite, and it will be there. And it's as a result from my company that I have created called Seek Consulting Services. Now, SEEK stands for using strategies, education, excellence, and knowledge. That's what we want to develop in you as a leader, so that you will be able to build those effective teams. and that you will be able, again, to change the game plan sometime and move your team to a different level. So I thank you all for listening to me. I thank you for hanging in there today. I hope that I got you got something out of this, and I hope that it is of benefit to you all. Again, thank you, and thank you, Tracy, and thank you, Tanya, for the opportunity.
Fantastic. Let's all give Gail a big round of applause. I'll do my leg applause with my one hand. Fantastic. Gail, that was so great. And I have a ton of notes, and your whole analogy with chess, like, that was brilliant. Clearly you have been doing this for a really long time. Super smooth, super, like, everything sense. It totally hit me really, like, right in the center. So I really appreciate you today, personally, for what I need to do with my team. And I hope everyone else got as much out of you as I did. We have some exciting raffle action ready to go. Tanya, are you going to talk through this?
Sure. The first raffle, we have everybody that registered by the 5th of October gets put in a special raffle for the deluxe event package, which is worth $497. It includes, you get a copy of the booklet, you get one speaker training class for free. That's from live speaker to virtual dynamo. You get a copy of the event chat. You get to come to our mastermind group for free. You get one free attendance. You get the event recording and a 30-minute laser coaching with me. Yay! Oh, okay. Sorry. Squirrel. So now we can spin the wheel.
Awesome. And just as a reminder, as Tanya said, if you don't see your name on the list, that was because you had to register before a certain date. So we pulled that list on that day, and those are the people that have been in attendance here today, and their names are on the ones on the wheel. So here we go.
My name is on the wheel.
Stephanie, are you here?
Stephanie is here. You can take yourself off of mute and be like, woo, woo, woo-hoo.
I've been waiting to talk to you, Stephanie.
I'm here anytime, Tanya.
I know, we so overdue for our conversations. I've missed you. All right, now I want to introduce Miss Tracy Tai with our last bit of bling bling.
Hi, everybody. Who loves green? Green, 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 money. Well, Touchstone Crystal by Swarovski has got this beautiful necklace. It's called the Glitz necklace. Can you see that? Isn't that pretty? So the Glitz necklace, it's called the Glimmer necklace. It's crystalline, emerald, urnite, fern green, and peridot. So this necklace is valued at $99, and the facets are just so sparkly, and I wish you a lot of luck.
This drawing is for speakers.
Green for luck and green for money.
Oh yeah, and if you were a speaker today, these are for the speakers from today. So if you're here but you were yesterday, this is just for today. So here we go.
Good luck.
Oh, Terry, is Terry here?
Is Terry here?
She is here.
Oh, there she is.
Fantastic.
All right. Woo. Darn, I thought I was going to get a necklace.
No.
I thought you had disappeared. All right, everyone.
Gorgeous. That's so sparkly and beautiful.
Yep. Take yourself off mute, everyone, please. And I would like for you to give my team, who without them, this would not be possible. I would be somewhere with my hands stuck in the wall like a cat. and no hair, sipping vodka and cranberry. With, thanks to these
That's
guys.
still okay. You can go do that part.
Just give me a minute. We have been up and at this since 4 o'clock this morning, and we were here on call until 6 o'clock last night, 7 o'clock last night. I cannot tell you all of the work that they put in. These ladies are absolutely wonderful. They're tops at what they do. Thank you so much, guys. Athena Salazar and and Tracy Root. Can you give them a hand? Tell them thank you.
Excellent, excellent job.
They make
you,
me look
guys.
really good, and they see me when I don't look so good at all. When I forget to put on eyebrows. But
Hey, Zoom has an app for that now, you know.
I know, I saw that. Don't distract me. And I want to thank you guys for coming. All of you wonderful speakers who honored me, our keynote speaker, Ariel Asher, who always over delivers every time I ask her to do something. She's an instant yes. People, Tracy, Ty, always an instant yes from her when I ask her to help me out. Diana Morgan, oh my goodness. I'm like Jason. I don't want to do Facebook. I don't know nothing about Facebook. Diana Morgan has got my back and has had my back for everything you see is all her. Don't even, they were like, I saw you on Facebook. I said, really? Oh, thank you, Diana. You know, but
thank you. You're welcome.
So this is a collaborative effort. Back to what Gail says, letting teams function in their strengths. That's how this happens. That's how it looks like nobody did anything really extraneous. So thank you for coming. Thank you, all of the participants. I appreciate you. And let's boogie on out of here.